Who wants to speed run it? Yeah, I volunteer as I on the speed run. I can get a speed run, I never see it. Okay, we're gonna put a nice big thing here. Don't go right now, is everybody doing it? Yeah. Escape out of it, and you guys should just the icons in the pinned to the taskbar or in the order of presentation. Oh, really? Here's the deal. So it's roll because we know somebody up there. You know the
Hello.
Hello.
Wait a second. There's nobody up on stage. Where's that voice coming from? Steve in the back. Man, no, look down. Way down. I'm down on the floor with you guys.
You guys want to put your bags down? We're going to get these chairs set up. One big aisle down the middle, at least 6 feet wide. Rows of chairs.
So Vanessa just doesn't even.
Why bother? You got it. Actually, time this time is already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you and Glenn and you take here. Run. I'm gonna try and stay out of the way. You know how hard that is. All right. No. Don't hang anything up.
So you guys just go like mile in the middle.
Oh, wow.
So two sides. Two sides. No. Oh, tablet is over.
Me too.
Actually ready.
Yeah.
There's great exercise. So, yeah. So, basic line. No, this is bad. One go deep. Why are we sitting? Daniel. Never. You want the horns of rhinos coming over you? Keep going back, people. And if we run out of space, we need to compact it because we haven't tightened up the road.
Once they're set up, come take a seat down front.
Okay, let's see how it looks from the stage. I think it's a little bit wide. We might be able to go in a little bit more. Unfortunately, we're halfway through. Yeah, I think we need to tighten it up. We need more rows. 2 plus. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah. And then bring that with no. Oh, we talked about. You might want to look in the back. Yeah.
Been there, been there. No connection.
Okay. No. So don't worry about the front row because there's going to be a camera cutting here. So I got to clean up onto this. Look at how tight these guys are. No, closer, Scott. Closer. Even more.
So we have to put
Yeah, basically, it's going to be like.
Oh, are we
Okay.
do we move forward?
Thank you.
Are we moving all the chairs off? I don't think so.
Is it off?
Maybe just a little bit because it's just, I don't know. This already seems like 100 and
Yeah, we're getting a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Move the chairs forward. Lisa,
We can move one more.
I got one more. Oh, never mind.
Kind of rusty.
Well, yeah, it's 130 feet. Memorizing names.
You're so good at that.
Fair. I'll move anyway.
thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's too
Back
low.
up,
It has to be Ohio Central.
That's
Back up a little bit. Against those.
That's good morning.
People need like. Move to the right. More. Then one more.
Yeah, like follow this right here.
May, right?
You know what?
I guess this is the war what we live in.
Tenemos que tener una buena recepción para los.
There's this space for Robo Raptor because they might just basically be
And that is Diego there.
No, apparently they can't.
I also want to do like that.
There, perfect. Yeah.
Jordy's here.
Okay.
Let's see my friend.
Oh,
Yeah, so I.
we're kind of close, right?
This doesn't look like you know the straight line is.
Okay. Chicken stick.
Just
We have chairs.
All right. I gotta give you a couple ground rules first. We use Beyond Capture Space because it's a nice big space and a nice big screen. But there's a couple ground rules. These guys are often working on some proprietary stuff. They don't usually have it up on their screens. But what that means is that everything up on the deck up there is off limits. Okay. That just protects their clients, and it keeps you out of their hair if they have to do any work. The group of them is not usually here on our industry night, so it's up to us to take care of their very expensive equipment. For those of you that have been in the space and done some motion capture, you know kind of the ground rules. You'll see these little barriers and cameras around the outside edge. Please don't touch anything.
Or put stuff up against it or hang anything on it.
Yeah, no, just leave those things alone. There's a lot of expensive gear in here, and it just takes them a ton of time to recalibrate everything if you so much as breathe on it. So, nothing, as Steve said, hanging on or near any of the gear. Don't touch the frames, no matter how solid they look. Definitely don't touch the cameras in any way. Try not to touch any of the wires either. Okay. That's going to be especially important as you come in, because you're going to be coming in down this side.
So I'll actually do a run through. I will be a test game for you. So I'm going to be Steve, the unnamed project. So Glenn or one of the, I think it's you, Joel, will bring you down, and you'll be waiting here.
Hey, guys.
In the first group, you'll be waiting here, and then Victor will be introducing everybody. So when the first team comes up, this is the only camera you have to duck for initially because it's nice and high, but then there's going to be a cameraman here shooting it on the side. We're not sure exactly where they're going to be because they don't come to our dress rehearsal. They set up the day of, but there's going to be a camera here pointing that way. So you want to duck behind this one and then line up in the order in which you're going to be on the stage. We always want the PM first because the PM will walk up the stage.
Or the spokesperson.
Well,
It's
yeah.
it's the game player.
No. You're not on my team, Scott. Get up. Yeah. Game, whoever's playing your game will get up in front first. So yeah, Scott's my game player. He's going to play the game, and then Victor's going to be on the stage there. He's going to introduce the team. Team Steve.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? Steve's gonna do some talking. Nice to meet you, Steve.
His microphone
there
will be
too.
on.
Yeah.
Much like this one. So this microphone is the one the whole team shares. The reason we want the PM first is the PM walks over here, takes the muted microphone, yay, it's safe, presses it once from red to green,
And then they can talk. Yay! So we're gonna try and do biggest team of 6 people, right? So if Victor is over there on that stage, around there, and we have the PM here, we're gonna do a nice curving arc of the rest of the team so that everybody's nicely lined up and we get to say, hi, Victor. Hey, turn your mic on. One long press will turn it on. Is it green or red? Nothing yet? Check. Oh, he's got a way better voice than me. Listen to him. I've got a weasel voice. Maybe I can have a deeper voice. Oh, okay, I've got a deep voice now. So the idea is you're going to talk about your game, introduce, we're going to do it twice. We're going to do one rough run through, have the game playing. I'm going to learn how loud the game is. I've got a master volume control that's extremely easy for me to balance how loud the game is in the background. And then I'm going to learn how loud you are on the microphones. If you'll notice, I have the microphone very close to my mouth, and I'm quite energetic and forceful karaoke style. If you're nervous and you start doing this and it starts going away, or you're like this, there's no point in you having the microphone, because I can't turn this up without feedback. You don't want it's awful, even if it's louder. So what you have to do is get the microphone close to your mouth and just kind of talk into it. This is okay, but it's better kind of this way because you're shielding the microphone from the sound coming in. So you're a nice, yeah, there we go. So we're gonna figure this out today. It's like how good is the microphone? I'm gonna make notes, and if you're doing this or kind of, oh, this is my favorite one. Yeah, no. Over here in the game. Yeah, and then I was working on the level, and then I did a bunch of character stuff. It's not a pointing stick; it's a talking stick. I'll correct your bad behavior. Yeah, you like that one, Angie. So it's happened. It's happened. People do it. So we're gonna look at how you present yourself. If you got your hands in your pockets, or if you're always looking at the screen instead of the people that will hire you, the screen won't hire you. The people sitting in the audience are the ones who are interested in your work. So it's hard. You guys had a hell of a run. Amazing games. Let's show off ourselves and the project. But it's more about yourselves right now. Victor is an amazing host. He brings everyone to life, and we're so blessed to have him with us. So when you're done, thank you very much, Team Steve. You press it once.
It's quiet. It won't make a noise when I plant it in here, because otherwise it makes a horrible sound, which I can't do anything about. Then you walk off stage, and off you go. Rinse and repeat.
running the games up here, there's nothing more distracting than you fumbling around trying to get the game running. Okay? So we're going to try and set the games up and work on it today. The transitions are key. So when you finish playing a team's game, you need to be locking down the screen in a way that lets them transition. Do we have a freeze on the screen?
No. So what we're doing now is, if I'm now playing Scott's game, I'm helping him out. I'm here beforehand. I'm going to kind of go down here. I have pinned all 7 games in the order in which they're going to play. So 2 of them have custom icons. The other ones do not. So if we click on this first one, you instantly launch Cyber Adrenaline, which is going to be the first one. Having a little bit of pause time here is okay. I can control the master volume. So if you have a loud splash screen or something, I can sneak it down and then bring it up. But it's better if the game is just kind of running there and then we just kind of transition. So we're going to work through this. This is nice and quiet, but we're going to have a bit more rock and roll. And then when you guys start talking, I'll bring it down. So I'm live mixing your game because presenting and playing are 2 different things. So we will start with that same blank screen, and then whoever plays first, double click, launch while the team is being introduced. This would then show up. So we're going to work on this transition. So what I would suggest is let's have the Cyber Adrenaline team line up here, and whoever is playing for them be first, right about where Glenn is.
So Cyber Adrenaline is first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I can send it to you right now. You don't have it.
Okay. Oh, did you text it? Oh, okay. Forgotten son. He's those Robo Rapture, zero friction, by the cord, Elder. Robo Rapture. Okay. Okay. Marco. Wait. I'm just trying to get the name. Marco. Angat.
It's okay.
Oh, jeez. Rusty, yes, and David.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, Rusty.
Unless it really hangs and bakes, but then we'll just roll with it.
I don't know if you would. A little bit to the right. Yeah. Where are they going to say? They ask you more.
Yeah. Alejandro? Diego? Hugo? Marco? And Luan? Luan, okay. Taiwan. And yes, sir. Yeah. And that is Stanford. Yeah. And no. Okay. I've forgotten your name. Jasper. Yeah. Jasper. Okay. I was going to say JP. Cyber, what is it? Cyber Adrenaline.
我不知道跟他们
How do you describe
我都不管声音。
Yeah,
turn-based endless runner strategy game.
turn-based endless runner strategy.
3分，他坐你前面，你倒后面。好嘞。
Zero friction system. And Vitacore is the hero-based shooter. A MOBA shooter. MOBA shooter.
Victor, can you use the microphone for a second?
Use the microphone for a second. Check. Yeah, sounds all right. Okay. I'm in your ears. Cool. Okay. Should we go? Still testing?
No, we're good.
Shall we start rehearsal?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Hey, Vancouver, welcome to the Vancouver Pitch and Play. What's the class? GD54. Oh my God. And PG15. Wow. These numbers keep going up. That's what they do. Numbers do that. Thank you for coming, Vancouver. We're gonna have a fantastic night tonight. We are gonna meet some incredibly creative and talented people, and they're going to show us the games that they've been working very hard on, and you are not going to believe the quality of these titles that you're going to get to play and have some fun with, but more importantly, you're going to get to talk to these very talented folks. Let's start off with Cyber Adrenaline. We've got Marco coming up. Come on up, my friend. How are you? Nice to meet you. We've got Engad. Good to see you, sir. We have Rushdie. Come on up. You guys can come up a little bit quicker. Keep on screaming. Rushdie. And we have Dave. Good to see you, sir. All right. Marco.
Go closer to Victor.
Yes.
Yeah. So keep on that side. Victor,
That's
a little
right.
more.
That's right. So I'm going to lock it right about here, right?
Perfect.
Okay. So Marco, take us into Cyber Adrenaline. What's this game all about? Just tap it on the bottom. There you go.
Hello.
All right.
So
Cyber Adrenaline is a top-down isometric beat-em-up game with a very nice cel-shaded art style. We aim to go for a very easy and very fun experience and just really beat a lot of guys up and really feel good about it.
You're the project manager on the game?
The project manager and the combat designer.
Nice. Was this a game that was relatively easy for you guys to discover the direction for? Or did it take a little bit of back and forth before you decided your path?
Oh, we did a little back and forth. First of all, this is supposed to be like a very hard to play, very complex strategical beat-em-up game, but then we realized that this is not fun. This is like going for a very hard to play, like fighting game-esque kind of thing was not our thing, so we just changed our design, and now it's very much more fun, more towards more arcadey style, which we think we did a good design choice there.
What was the toughest day in development for you?
Oh, definitely when we were still pursuing that path of like complex, hard to play.
Yep.
There was this mechanics that's really hard to implement because our team had no programmers. So we were just really down and just like really depressed and really like hitting hard on ourselves. But then that's when, let's cheer up and then move on.
That's awesome. Were you able to have that level of honesty with everybody? Was this a team you felt very comfortable with?
Yes, like actually at first we were kind of unstable. We had some troubles in our past, but in the end we really came through. We had amazing team members, really listening to like our vision of the game and just like keep listening to each other. The communication was very solid, and I think I'm really proud of this team and what they did.
That's amazing. Now, you were the project manager on the game. Is that kind of the direction you'd like to see your career take?
Actually, project managing is something that I enjoyed, but I would much rather be a combat designer within the industry.
Okay, very cool. Well, good luck with that dream. Let's talk with Engad here. What was your focus on the game?
So I was mainly the level designer of the game.
Okay. What was the idea with the isometric viewpoint? That was something that you guys hit on, no pun intended, fairly early on, or was that something that you sort of decided on based on some development?
Yeah, it was planned from the beginning of the development. It was sort of to go along with how we could make like the combat feel and make it feel really good. And I think having that isometric view was also, for me, something really exciting to work with because designing levels around that it's like a certain strategy path you have to go down and everything. So it was a lot of fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy all the destructible elements that you have in the game. I guess that was a big pillar that you guys had to hit.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
Yeah, that was definitely something we wanted to go for since we originally had a complex system, but when we made it basic, we wanted to sort of lift the game up with something else other than just combat. So, having a destructible meshes is really fun for the player.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a breakaway from combat, so the game isn't constantly like fighting.
Sure.
And you can also go to the side and break some stuff, which feels really good.
Was there a moment where, I mean, we had Marco talking about some of the tough stuff. Was there a moment where there was just sheer joy and, a real sense like you're doing it, you're doing what you wanted to do?
Yeah. When we started putting all like the art from the artists together, we started putting everything together and seeing it all come like together from all the work we all did individually, it was like, wow, this looks really good. This feels really good. Like we were all really, really excited on like how our project was going and everything.
Wonderful. Did you do the job that now you want to keep on doing, or would you like to try something? Oh, okay.
That's definitely something I want to do in the industry.
All right. So talk to people about designing some levels then.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk with Rushdie. What did you do on the game?
I was the artist. I was involved in one of the character art, environment art, the animation for all the animals and the characters, and also for the particles.
That's awesome. Well, isn't it cool that you get a taste of all of that?
Oh, it was a very fun experience. We had a team discussion, me and David, because David.
So this was a team?
It was a team.
Right here?
One of us actually artists.
Team Rushdie David right here? Okay, all right, cool.
So we nailed the art itself. Like we communicate a lot, and that's the fun of like having a duo combo right here. The thing is, when I discovered animation in the first place, I realized that the locomotion of just a normal human being was really like something that I want to explore from the beginning.
Sure.
And it's been fun since then. And I've been playing around with a lot of animation. And ever since then, I think like I remember this one day, one of our attacks is very, very bad, and it's just like you need to make it look good. And Inga just came out to me, but like, why not make the attack, make a headbutt of dab or something? I don't know. So I decided to like when I go back to Maya and just like try to polish it. I did a dab and just like what you can see on the screen, one of the attack is like dabbing and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Was that something you saw yourself doing when you signed up to come to VFS?
Not really. Like when I first came here, I wanted to be a level designer, but then when I pursued the art career, stream. It was really fun for me, and ever since I enjoy so much.
Wonderful. So is art the direction you want to head off into now?
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. David, you're part of Team Rushdie, David. Let's talk a little bit about the focus of your work.
Actually, I'm the character artist and the environment artist.
Okay, so you came up with the look of these different characters that you get to beat up. Yeah, cool. What was the inspiration? What was your influence?
How to say? I think because it's not my first time to do a character.
Okay.
But actually, what I did before I came to this school, I'm a 2D artist.
Okay.
I draw like illustration and some tattoos. Like
so you have some traditional art and sketch in your history. Yeah, that's great.
I learned for 2 years.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and this now I did one time 3D art on the portfolio. This is the second time, and I think I how to say I grow up. I grow up. I learned a lot.
You're flexing.
Yeah.
You're getting better. Is 3D art now something that you want to continue to pursue, or are you thinking there's a path for yourself making 2D games, or does it matter?
How to say? I think I can do both 2D and 3D now, but I'll focus on vehicles and the environment.
Not characters.
Not
So you've done characters, done with that. If that's in your history, you want to make cars and environments.
It's not bad, but it's not what what kind story?
Okay. And why cars or why vehicles?
I can do it really good.
Okay.
That's why.
All right, man. Stay humble.
That's
awesome. And make sure that if you're looking for an artist that can do some environments and some vehicles, you talk with David. And check out this game and talk to all of these wonderful guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Have yourselves a good evening. Oh, and Mike, you guys all exit stage right. And then somebody sticks it in there, turns it off. There you go. Cool. All right. Next group up is, what is it? The Forgotten Son. All right. Our next team is an action-adventure game called... Oh, it's hack and slash. Our next team is the hack and slash game, The Forgotten Son. Come on up, Mario. How are you? Jasper. I was just saying Parker. Damn it. And I've got Kate, and I've got Noah, and I've got Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel. Good to see you. All right.
Hello.
Mario. You know I had to do that. I'm sorry. That's the only time I'll. Tell us a little about The Forgotten Son.
So we're a third-person hack and slash. We started rough because we didn't know exactly what we're planning to do. We lost a team member in the process. So we had to change everything through all the process until we come up with what we have now.
That is professional game development right there. I think what you just described, right? And the time crunch was a big deal.
We learned about developing a game, focus on the vision, what changes, what needs to stay, what needs to focus, and we cut a lot of things. We had 12 magical abilities, and we have 4 now, or 5.
Well, take us into this game a little bit, because it's a hack and slash, we get that, but there's a thematic kind of over sort of arch that you're trying to put together.
So everything started as a Mayan theme with Lovecraftian elements blended in, but in the development we kind of lost the Lovecraftian theme and everything stayed Mayan in our own view. So that's basically what we did.
Okay, right on. And influenced by a lot of action titles, and so you guys all said we've got to make the next God of War.
We wanted a kind of unique approach because we were doing a Mayan game, so we gathered from many games that we liked. We got the elements, kind of the basic elements that we wanted, and we tried to include them as best as we can, but we're new in this, and we're learning, so every time through the iteration process, something changed, and we had to see that what we were trying to do wasn't the best.
It suited it the best. Okay.
So we had to change everything, and our game was basically different 3 weeks before. We had to change we had 2 levels. Now we only have 1.5.
Yes. Did you enjoy the project management position and sort of guiding the team and working with the team to make sure that everything came together?
It was a great team. We had a great experience. I wouldn't change them for anything. At first, I felt like I was the pillar of the team. I need to stay positive, but they were the ones who made me stay positive through the whole experience.
That's a great observation.
It was very nice.
Yeah, and I guess you have to kind of be open to feeding on the energy of everybody and support different people at different times, because that's part of it, isn't it?
That was exactly like was kind of feeding on their positive energy to stay alive.
Yeah. It got pretty heavy for you, I hear. Do you want to continue in that kind of direction? You want to be a producer in video games, or is there something else you'd like to do?
Well, I was part of the VFX team. Jasper just guided me through the process. I love doing, mostly anything about games. I'm new at this, so I'm learning everything. And I want to keep learning.
That's a great approach and a great attitude. All right, let's talk to Jasper. What did you work on?
Hello. I worked on the characters and the UI for the game.
That's great. You have a really distinct aesthetic here with your characters. They look kind of it looks a little animated, like a cartoon.
Yeah, we didn't want to go for something too super realistic. We were going for more of a cartoony, stylized piece, bright and colorful. Skeletons exploding, so there's lots of fun.
I've seen some Mayan hieroglyphics, and that looks almost like animated sort of, panels or something like that, or concept work for a potential animated feature. Did you look at any of that stuff at all for a reference?
Yeah, I had to look at, I looked at a lot of Mayan, how should I say, iconography, like their calendars and the different glyphs on the pyramids and stuff, just to like try and draw something that you would maybe like see in their codexes and stuff to fit the theme.
That's cool. I mean, that's a lot of great material to, as an illustrator, as an artist, that's a lot to pull from.
Yeah, thanks. It was kind of challenging. It was super hard coming up with the abilities. We did a bunch of crazy abilities, and we had to come up with a visual for crazy abilities, and it was probably the most challenging thing. But I'm pretty happy with the different buttons, even if it doesn't make 100% sense. It's fun.
It is a game.
Yeah.
Yes, it's meant to be fun to play. Did you enjoy this process?
Yeah, it was
Doing the art and focusing on characters and that kind of work?
It was honestly one of the most stressful things I've ever done, but it was definitely one of the most exciting things I've ever done because I was able to push myself and do a lot more than I thought I was able to do before. So yeah, it was stressful, but we created something that I think is pretty cool, so I'm proud.
Awesome. Are you looking to continue to be an artist as you venture off into the professional world?
Yeah, it'd be super cool to be an artist. 2D, 3D, whatever.
That's good. I like that. All right, Kate, let's find out what you worked on.
I was the programmer for the player, the combat, the AI behavior. The AI behavior, the Titan behavior, and the environmental aspects.
Oh, wow. Had you done any programming before this?
No.
Seriously, you walked into school, never touched any code before, and now you're a coder.
Yeah, I didn't know what a string was, and I just kind of showed up.
I don't know what a string was. That's crazy. And did you enjoy that whole workload and that process of learning all that stuff?
Yeah, it was a lot to learn it all for sure, but
You guys all sound shell-shocked. It's like you endured something. You survived this.
Yes, we survived.
But you all have smiles.
Yeah.
Did you find the direction that you want to continue on now?
Yeah, it was great. And through this project, I definitely learned a lot, and I feel a lot more confident.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And now at the school, you get a chance to, see not only the disciplines in the game design program, but also all the other, disciplines that the school caters to, actors, and you work with voice actors and mocap and all that stuff. Is it cool to get a sense of all of these different disciplines and to kind of almost have this a la carte sort of buffet in front of you, and then to find what fits?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Or do you have this dream to maybe transition to something else, or are you open to stuff like Mario is?
I'm pretty set with coding. I really like programming.
Awesome.
Especially now that I feel a lot more confident in it. It's something I definitely want to do.
Right on. I know a lot of people out there are going to be happy to hear that. Let's talk with Noah right now. What did you work on, Noah?
I was the other programmer on the team. I worked on the magic system. I worked on the boss AI. And I also did the UI programming.
Oh, that's great. That's very cool. Had you done any coding before?
I had a little bit of experience just with Python.
Yeah.
But other than that, not much.
And what's the difference between knowing a little bit of Python and getting a game finished?
A lot. I would just made Hangman using strings and nothing else in Python, and jumping from that to a game like this.
Yeah. Coding a boss. Yeah. Big deal.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah. And so you had some experience coming into the school, and now you've had a lot of experience coming out of the school. Do you want to be an artist?
No. No. I would like to stick with programming, and I would like just to do nothing but programming, I think.
Right on.
I really like it.
Okay, you're going to be fighting Kate for a job. That's cool. That's awesome. All right, let's talk with Gabriel. What did you work on again?
I was the environmental artist. I did the art for the environments and the lighting, and some level design as well.
Oh, that's great. Had you made a game before or worked on anything in the video game industry before?
No, I did a tiny bit about modeling right before I came here, but nothing else beyond that.
Awesome. What was the best surprise or your best day at VFS during this last year for you?
Probably close to the end of the project when some of the things that I was learning finally clicked for me. Just figure out how to make like certain materials and models and stuff. It was a whole process that I went through, just trying to learn and figure out
Is that something where you talk with the mentors, because you have a lot of industry partners and stuff that work with the school and they give you guidance? Or is that something where you personally say, I'm going to go and Google the hell out of this until I get it?
A little bit column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
So talk to people, looked up a lot of references. And yeah, there's results. I still do have a lot to learn, but
that's great. Do you want to continue on as a level designer or as an environmental artist? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that it'd be pretty fun to continue to explore this, to try to learn how to learn to do environmental art.
Great, awesome. Okay, well, you're going to have a chance to talk with lots of pros here tonight, and you are going to have a chance to talk with this team and play this game, so please do that. And have a great time, you guys. Good luck in all of your dreams, all right? And you continue on, and you put the turn mic off, and you stick it into the slot over there. Good job, you guys. All right, our next team is, what is it? Ethos. Okay. I'll learn the games. I'm learning your names first. Our next game is Ethos, and we've got Connor. Yes, good to see you, sir. And Sergio, and Alejandro, good to see you, and Diego, and Piero, and Tawan. I'll get that. All right, Connor, take us into Ethos. What is this game all about?
Testing. Hey, Ethos is a third-person, 3D third-person action adventure game where you follow the story of a young female warrior named Arcadia. It is set in medieval times, medieval fantasy. And our game, the level is that she gets captured by an evil king that captures her and her mentor, and she needs to escape the dungeon and go fight him.
You guys are Dark Souls players.
Yes, some of us are. Some of us are diehard.
All right. Well, did it take some convincing to sort of go in this direction and make an action hack and slasher like this one?
I think from the start that we really want to do this game, so we were really committed to making the combat be really good.
That's great. You guys even had enough time to make cut sequences in this title.
Yes, Sergio worked on the cinematics, and actually got a lot of people worked on the cinematics to make it really polished and feel really good.
That's great. Was this like, did you hit your marks? Did you hit what you scoped to, or did you have to cut a bunch out? Or?
We had to cut a lot of things out. We kind of overscoped at the start. We had to have a tough meeting to sit down and figure out what we were going to cut from the game, and it was a tough time to do. But then the game.
Did you lead that meeting?
I think it was. We all kind of realized that we had to test some things because there wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of time to make things look good and to polish. So.
And how did that go? Did anybody throw anything around or get angry or start swearing, or was everybody cool? It's just you and me. Nobody's.
Yeah. Of course. All right. Yeah, everyone was pretty cool. I think it's more tough that we had this dream of doing this type of game, and we weren't able to fulfill that dream. But if we had more time, we would have done more things for sure.
Yeah. Every game and every game team has that same story. Everybody wants more time.
That.
Yeah. You were the project manager.
Yes, the project manager, also the prop designer as well.
Nice. You had a hand in a little bit of everything, right? Because that's what everybody here at the school has a taste of it all.
Yes. I try to give feedback and give my 2 cents whenever I could. Yes.
Is this what you want to do?
Yeah, I would like to be maybe a producer or project manager of the industry, or maybe I'd like to be a game designer or level designer.
Great. Okay. Very cool, Connor. Okay, let's find out what Sergio worked on.
Hello.
What did you work on, Sergio?
I did level design, combat design, and narrative design.
Nice.
And
it all bleeds together in this one.
Yes.
When you guys were taking me into the game, it was very emphatically presented to me that this is a narrative-based thing, and there's a lot going on with the backstory, and that was important right from the get-go with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Since the beginning, I'm like a huge fan of narrative games and things like that, and my team supported my kind of dream to make something like this.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of support. We recorded cinematics here in the mocap studio. That was amazing. That directing actors and everything was amazing.
Yeah, because Gears 5 I think was made here too.
Yeah. It was also. Same level.
Same quality. Yeah. It's all Vancouver-based development, right? Yeah. That's awesome. What kind of shocked you about this whole process? Because I imagine you didn't have tons of game development experience before you started here.
No, I'm new. Like I came from Spain,
Yeah.
or overseas to come here and start my dream. And it was amazing. This like whole project, it was amazing. I learned a lot. Sometimes it's a little bit like a sad process, I would say, because like in your mind and like in paper everything works, and the moment that you implement things and it doesn't work, it's like super heartbreaking. But like I would say the moment that we shaped the combat system as like how it is right now, that was our one of our best victories during this.
Dude, there's a game in that, in the idea of the things you have to give up when you're trying to create your dream in a video game. Because nobody gets that you've got to build the whole thing. You got to build the whole, like nothing is made for you. You got to build every damn brick in your castle, right? Yeah, it's crazy. So you had a bunch of hats. Which hat did you think fit you the best?
I think I'm more in this process. Also, I learned that I'm more a game designer, which like I would like to work as a game designer in the industry. But I will also like some like job opportunity that lets me improve my narrative skills.
Cool.
So I enjoyed this project because I could make a lot of things.
Nice.
But I will focus myself in game design and narrative.
Awesome. That is a great point, actually, for everybody here that's up on stage. But I would also like to, is a great way to kind of make yourself very appealing in a bunch of different ways to potential employers. If you're open to the idea of lots of different roles or opportunities, which you all should be, that's a very good way to put it, Sergio. All right, Alejandro, let's find out what you worked on, sir.
Hi, I did AI and combat programming, sorry.
Nice. Did you have one that you enjoyed more than the other, or did they go hand in hand?
Well, both of them were nightmares.
Okay.
I really enjoyed both, like AI and combat. I will prefer to be an AI programmer.
Okay.
But it's
Why? Why is that?
I don't know. I think that making something from scratch that can basically do whatever you want, it's like super fun.
Yeah, you've been creating the puppets.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's like super buggy, it's fun, right?
Yeah. Do they shock you, these little AI creations of yours? Do they do things that you're like, what? I didn't. Does that ever happen?
It's happening right now.
Oh,
yeah,
I like your honesty.
It definitely happens, and also with combat, when you mix like those two things, like AI and combat, like you have to make sure that everything fits perfect, and you can have like a super cool feeling of what everything's happening. And it's really hard. It needs a lot of polish, a lot of time, and I don't know. I enjoy it. I will do it again.
Who does it best in the professional world? AI.
What do you mean?
Like who, when you play games like Dark Souls or whatever, who just blows you away with the way that they deal with AI out there?
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Yeah, I think those are all human-controlled characters. Oh, actually, no, there are little pigs. Oh, yeah, there are pigs. There are AI pigs. So Minecraft. Okay. Good luck not being a game developer, Aliam. No, that's awesome. That's good. It'll be. We'll make it up as we go the next time. That was great. Okay, let's find out what Diego worked on.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was a gameplay programmer, UI programmer, and I also implemented sound.
Nice. Let's talk about UI here for a second. You've got a lot of information to distill in this game, but you also want to keep it incredibly cinematic. So how do you find that balance so that you're educating your player, but you're not overwhelming them?
Well, that was pretty hard. Like, I don't know. I think I couldn't do that like without my artists, like without my designers in general. Because I remember every time I was implementing it, like in my mind, it's just making it work. So I always use like, I don't know if you know the term of programmer art. So like I grab a awful like square, like yellow square to make the health of the character and whatever, and like I make it work. And then like I showed it to my designers, and my designers like they tell me like they give me feedback. They tell me like, okay, make it a little bit like smaller, so like it's
so they let you go down the path of making more programmer art.
Kind of. So they're like giving me the feedback of what to improve.
That's awesome. Did you enjoy that aspect of making a game, or did you choose? Did you like other elements more?
I enjoyed more doing the gameplay, like how the player move, I enjoyed more like how the player behaved, like her movement, the camera, like she has different dashes or her ability. She has her main ability is possession, and that was one that like it was a little bit hard to do and hard to polish, but I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. So you're going to be a programmer, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Very cool. For sure. All right. So talk to Diego if you're looking for programmers. Let's find out what Piero worked on.
Hey,
Hello. What'd you do on the game?
I was the environmental artist.
Okay, cool. Had you had any art in your background prior to coming to the school?
No, it's the first time I do art.
Yeah. What did they throw at you? What tools did you have to use to put your art together?
For this project, I used Maya, a little bit of ZBrush, Substance Painter, Photoshop.
And had you used these tools prior to?
No,
not at all.
It's the first time.
So what is that like for somebody coming in off the street and getting thrown all of this really powerful tool set?
Well, at the beginning was really hard, and I would also like to say that we are lucky to have the older artist, that he is amazing. He has a lot of experience. So for me, I think that was the biggest challenge for the project, to keep up with him, because it's impossible. Of course, I cannot do it because he's a machine. So it was really hard, and I worked really hard to make things look good enough to fit the characters that Tawan made.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm happy with the results, and
that's awesome. Was it a question of you needing to fill the roles when you decided what you guys were going to work on, or did you get together and say, "I'd like to do environmental art. I'd like to be a pro"? How did you guys determine that?
No, since the beginning, I knew I want to be an environmental artist. I have my family is full of architects, so I love wonderful buildings and creating spaces.
Awesome.
So
what do your folks and your family think if you wanted to make games?
At the beginning, they were a little bit disappointed, I have to say. But I already showed them a couple of things that I made, and they are really impressed. That's good enough.
One of my best friends is an architect that transitioned to game making, and he's had a 25-year career. And what he always says to me is that I get to design buildings without a budget to think about, which every architect would dream of being able to do. And they probably get seen by more people too, which that's true. Touché! All right, let's talk with Tawan. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. Tawan. Okay, Tawan. You are the primo artist on this team, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm the character artist in this game, and also I did a little bit of the props and all the animation thanks to Beyond Capture Studio. And because some of the data are horrible for me, so I just redo part of it by hand animated.
Oh, you did. So you got some data that was too tough to work with, so you said, screw it, I'll throw all that away and just do that. No offense, Graham. And Beyond Capture Studio. So you obviously had some experience or some understanding of the process here before you came?
Yes, before I came here, I was an animation student. I have an animation bachelor before I came here.
Nice. And how much of that education was applicable?
Then before I came here, I already know how to use ZBrush and that kind of software, because Substance Painter just came out before I graduated, so I learned in here. And also previously I just used 3ds Max, but here I learned Maya here. So, but I think my Maya skill is way better than my 3D Max skill.
That's so cool. But now you've sort of opened a couple of branching pathways. What would you rather do? Would you rather make like animated TV shows or movies or video games?
The thing I prefer to make in games just because I think in games you can interact with others, but in animation you can just watch animation. That's why I choose game roles. So I want to be a character artist in
Fantastic. Well, I think you are going to see that dream realized. All of you guys, congratulations. You guys got to check out this game. It's very, very professional and very fun to play. Have yourselves a fantastic evening, you guys. Congratulations. All right. Our next group is, I forget the names. Oh, Robo Rapture. Our next group is Robo Rapture. Come on up, Ben. How are you? Our project manager, and Maceo. How are you? Watch that step. And Gustavo, and Angelica, and Miguel. Watch that step. Miguel, good to see you. Yes. That is a tricky step right there. Okay, Ben, take us into Robo Rapture.
Okay, there we go. Actually, Maceo wanted to take the helm with introducing the game.
Okay. So Maceo comes out first. So switch positions. Okay. All right, go for it.
So Robo Rapture is a turn-based endless runner strategy game that takes place in the not-so-far future where the end of days has come, so everything with a soul has gone to heaven or hell. But you play as 3 soulless giant robots desperately trying to survive in this now demon-infested Earth. So the whole game takes place on a dynamic grid, so at the end of the player and enemy turn, that backmost row of tiles that's covered in hellfire is destroyed, and a new row of tiles is added on the end. So it's like playing chess on a kind of a conveyor belt.
So how much does the game cost, and what's the release date?
Are you a publisher?
This game is very slick, and it felt, and I said this, it felt like it came pre-designed.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate it.
Is that something that had been rolling around in your head before you came?
So actually, I'm not the only designer. I co-designed with Gus.
Okay.
So during the pre-pro, we took our pre-pro and our GDD incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
And something that Gus will probably want to talk about as well is we had a paper prototype for the game. So the entire game was actually playable in pre-pro. And what we do is, I'd sit at one side of the table, we have a chessboard with all of our pieces on it, and Gus would sit at the other side with a whole list of how all the AI should behave. And so I'd make a move, and then Gus being the computer would calculate and make the reaction move. And it was really easy to jump in there, try out ideas, and go, this isn't feeling right, or this is feeling good. So we could get that polish, at least from a mechanical standpoint, quite early on, which was fantastic.
Now, I know your father. Yes, who has got a long history in video games. Did he give you a bunch of wisdom before you came here, or was he kind of hands-off?
So a question I get a lot is how much inspiration do I take from my father? And when it comes to inspiration from my father, it's really how he manages his company. He's involved with Hellbent Games, and I really love how he manages that studio. When it came to particularly this project, basically what he did is give me a non-stop stream of give me a build, give me a build, give me a build, which you would then take and just annihilate finding all the bugs, and then be like, here you go, fix it. And that was just a non-stop stress cycle, which was amazing.
Well, I've been to a lot of the pitch and play events, and I've heard a bunch of different pitches, but usually they start from the team dynamic kind of configuring and figuring out where to go, not so much on prototyping everything to be playable before you start, which I think is a very interesting process.
Thank you.
But does that not eat up into a lot of that very short amount of time?
It definitely does. It was most of that short time we had. And something Gus and I were both incredibly cognizant of is that if things needed to suffer, it could not be the documentation. Our documentation was super important. When talking to some other teams that have been successful, we asked about their GDD, and they're like, oh, well, we didn't really use the GDD. We made it, and then it was gone.
I mean, honestly, a lot of, you know this, a lot of pro projects, they don't even look at that.
But on our project, it kind of wasn't real unless it was in the GDD. So we were constantly updating things. I remember I was speaking to Miguel one day, and I was like, hey, we should tweak this value. And he turned to me, and he's like, go to the GDD and change it. And then I did, and that's a fantastic relation.
That is awesome. You're going to be a game designer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's my plan.
All right, I'm calling it. All right, Ben, let's find out what you worked on.
All right, so for this project, I was the project manager, UI UX designer, and as my team jokes to me, the moral compass.
Oh, very nice. Because we're dealing with demons in hell and destroying everything. And was it your idea to put a cute little monster? Oh, spoiled.
Actually, no. Maceo was the monster designer.
Okay. All right. Cool. What was it like? Working on a team that was so document focused and so design focused from the get go.
It made all the work fantastic right from the get go. As a project manager, scheduling this team.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, from the solar phones.
This is just a test. Please ignore the emergencies if something falls on you.
That really is happening now.
Yeah. You see, you monkey around with the devil, and this is exactly what happens, right?
Neo Satan. I've been Angie.
Yeah. All right. So what was it like working with this team?
It was absolutely fantastic. With them being so,
Okay, guys, pay attention.
with them being so document focused, it made my job as a project manager way easier because I didn't have to constantly nag them to do things; they just do them.
Yeah, very cool.
So for organization and all that, it made things way easier.
Was this what you wanted to do when you signed on the dotted line and said, I'm spending my money, I'm coming to VFS?
Initially, no. Initially, I wanted to go in for just design in general because I wanted to make games for as long as I can remember, and particularly in design. With this team, the reason I picked project manager is because I've had this knack of being organized really well, so I thought I'd play that part really well. Though as the project went on, I also took the role of UI designer because someone needed that part, and I found myself enjoying that a lot more.
Yeah, this is a game that requires a lot of UI, and a lot of hand-holding, and then you let the people go, right?
And that was the hardest part, was balancing how much you tell the player and how much you let them learn. Because you don't want to spoon feed them, but you also want to leave them in the dark.
Cool. Am I going to get 5 game designers on this panel here? Is everybody going to be?
No.
All right. Okay.
Now, this side's all designers, you're going to meet the programmers over
Okay,
here.
all right. I'm just wondering. Okay, very cool, Ben. So I get that you want to go into production or design, I think.
Preferably, yes.
Yes, okay. Gustavo, you were the co-designer on the game.
Correct.
I wanted to ask about the sprite art. I'm going to talk to the artists as well. Who was the artist?
It's only
Okay. Okay, we'll talk about sprite art in a little bit here more. But was that a decision from the get-go, or was that something?
To be a designer?
No, to be to put the sprite art into the game.
The sprite art was more of a technical thing because Mason can sprite 3 times as fast as he can do 3D art.
Oh, okay.
So it was an idea that we could get a lot more in-game if we switched it to 2D art.
Awesome. And are you as big a fan of tactical turn-based stuff?
Oh man, Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite games. I've been playing also like Into the Breach, which is another big
Such an amazing game, Into the Breach.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's so like to have something that minimalist and to be that deep. It's crazy.
Yes.
Right?
One thing that we noticed early on from watching playtesters play our game is that most of the times they were frowning, looking at the screen, and then, is everything okay? They were having a blast.
Miyamoto doesn't make any of these types of games, right?
Yeah.
It's like to see people frowning while they play.
Yeah.
So talk to me about building the paper version of this.
So we just sat down. I went to the game store that's right on International Village, all over there, and I bought a chessboard. And then I sat down with him and it's like, okay, it was still pre-production. And then I was like, let's make a game. We just spent a few afternoons playing with them, figuring out how many units, what were the systems involved, if you should have knockback or not. And like we started figuring out from there, and really soon we had all the behaviors figured out, like the 3 archetypes for the main units, the 7 for the enemies, and we just like he was the guy behind the enemies, and I was the guy behind the main player units, but we just went and typed it all on the GD, made it as fun and as exhaustive as it could be.
That's wonderful. Was there ever a thought of switching up the genre, or was it always going to be a tactical strategy? Yeah.
One day, yes. But it was still in pre-production before we hit the production floor.
Because it has a Doom-esque kind of feel. It feels like it could be a shooter with this technology against these demons, right?
That is definitely what we were
That's the
going
sequel.
for. That is the main difference between our game and Into the Breach, for example, because they have like a tactical protective gameplay. We're going for attacking hordes of demons coming at you.
Very cool. Nice. And so design is your forte now?
Yes.
That's where you want to go?
I think like a designer. Before coming to VFS, I studied screenwriting. So one of my goals is someday to actually write narrative design. But I need the hard skills, and that's why I did VFS game design.
Very smart. All right, let's go to Angelica now. What did you work on?
I was working as gameplay programmer, UI implementation, and AI.
Was it a benefit to have so much kind of pre-thought with how the game would play before you started to code?
Absolutely. I really appreciate that Macy and Gus keep the GDD updated because you need to architecture the game in a way that makes sense and that you can scale nightly.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have that knowledge previously,
Yeah.
it could be really messy.
Yeah, there's so much esoteric, intangible, beauty out of the discovery of making games. But I think for a programmer, a roadmap is very helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So was this something that you were driven to do, was to program video games, or had you done this before?
Yes, I have like 11 years of experience.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay, what games have I played of yours?
Not games, but apps, Android apps.
Very cool. That's awesome. So is this your first game that you've made then, or worked on?
On this scale, yes.
Very nice. And why the drive there? If you've been doing programming for 11 years, you've made a career out of it already?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. But you're a gamer and you want to make games.
Yes, and I was looking the passion that you can find on video game development, and it's amazing. I really like it.
That's awesome, especially working with folks like these.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, continued success in your programming career. Miguel, you're the artist?
Gameplay and technical artist.
Gameplay and technical artist. Okay. And how was it you and Nacio sort of splitting the work on a lot of the art?
There was definitely some times where I'd sit down next to Miguel, we'd be like, how do we get the blood rain to feel right? You might be seeing the blood rain in a moment.
Oh, okay.
So in terms of like the technical artist aspect, I was working really close with both Gus and Nacio.
Yep.
As I've seen so far is that you gotta work really closely with your designers if you want to be a technical artist.
Right.
So every time a new particle would be pushed out, I would work with them and say, hey, how does this look? Hey, does this fit our game? And every time I need to apply the post-processing to the environment, I would walk to Nacio and say, hey, does this fit our bloody, gory, Neo-Satan feel of the world that we want?
Awesome. Now there's 3D elements in the game and there's 2D elements. Is the technical art sort of a component that bridges all of that?
So the whole technical art was split between me and Gus. Gus was doing a lot of putting in the assets into the engine. I was more of the I'll add post-processing here, I'll add some of this particle effect here. Even particle effects we shared between us. I also did the shaders for the Rapture tiles getting destroyed and the world getting built.
Okay.
As for 3D and 2D art, I can talk a little bit more about that. It's pretty simple. With Unity's 3D engine, it's a lot like putting your assets in there and just tweaking some values to make sure that they look and feel the same as they were created, and make sure that they remain constant.
There's a clockwork kind of quality to the finished product or the graduation scale product of this game. But were there any nightmares? Was stuff clipping through the engine and like the 2D assets sort of not jiving with some of the background art? Or?
So we had to fight a lot with the rendering layers in Unity because 3D and 2D it's kept on two different layers. So we had to fight a lot with, okay, how does this transparent image render on top of this semi-transparent block, for example? There's another environment that we have called Glacier, and it has ice tiles on it. And it was a nightmare trying to make sure that the blood would stay on top of the ice tiles, because the ice tiles were semi-transparent, and the blood trails were 2D art.
Were you calling home a lot and saying, Mom, I can't figure out how to keep the blood on the tiles?
Yeah, my mom sent me a recipe for easy stuff.
Did you have fun with technical art? When you signed up to come here, was it like, that's what I want to be, a technical artist, or is that what you discovered?
It was funny, actually. I started out doing animation and background art in high school. But then I discovered programming in the later half of high school, and I just stopped with programming. I liked it a lot. And then as I was searching the web, I found out that shaders existed. And I got curious about that, so I started investigating about shaders, and eventually found my way to like Unity's post-processing stack, and I was able to make stuff like this.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys all get a chance to play this wonderful game and talk to these fantastic people. I have a request for anybody that might be out there. Oh, you have one more thing. Oh, yes, there is a mobile. Go ahead.
And we have a really cool thing that me and Angelica have been working on is that Robo Rapture is now on your Android.
And can people download this?
They will,
if they know you, yes.
They will be able to like
share it.
Nudge me.
Yeah. Well, as I say, this looks like almost clear. We're getting close to a finished product. I would like to see somebody out here make that dream come true. Keep these guys together. That would be amazing. All right, you guys, congratulations. Let's have our next group up. I've got the name of the game. Oh yeah, Zero Friction. We've got a racing game now. Ajay, and Stanford, and Eduardo, and say again? All right, let's go into this, Ajay. Let's do it. Yeah, what is Zero Friction all about?
Zero Friction is a 3D racing game set in the far future, where you can jump and use power-ups a la Mario Kart.
Right. You guys were influenced by Mario Kart and F-Zero?
Mario Kart and F-Zero, in the beginning, Road Rash was a big influence because we wanted to have a melee combat game as well.
Nice.
But then we found out that that was extremely difficult to do because we made up multiplayer games, 4-player online.
And having that extra animation and that collision detection was just another layer that.
Right, and having it be between two people because all the Road Rash games were single player.
Right.
So then they cheated all the 3D stuff, so we ended up going a different direction. But I was really happy with what we ended up with.
Did you guys know racing and like a futuristic kind of thing was the direction right away, or did it take a while to get to that?
I think in the beginning we wanted to make a fun multiplayer game. That was something we were all on board with. We wanted it to be just like this really fun. You pick it up, you can play it with your friends and have a good time. And Eduardo really liked motorcycles. He made that known very early on. And I don't know, as a PM, I wanted everyone to make me be happy and have something in the game. And I was like, all right, let's throw a motorcycle in there.
That's awesome.
And I was playing Final Fantasy VII at the time and playing the motorcycle mini game. And I don't know, somehow we ended up at racing from there.
You can't go wrong with futuristic racing. There is a definite hole right there. That's super cool. Did you enjoy this management kind of position that you have?
I did. I mean, I really kind of couldn't have asked for a better team. We're all pretty laid back, and so the creative process was fun. It was like this ongoing conversation that we had. Someone would throw out an idea, we would talk about it. There was never. I can't think of a time when we like really butted heads. I think it was just it was kind of just a creative. What am I trying to say?
Collaboration.
Yeah, more like that than like a top-down kind of.
Cool. Do you want to stay, in that direction now? You want to be a producer and a project lead, kind of?
I mean, potentially. I really enjoy game design. Game design and narrative, I would say, are my like two main things. But I also really enjoyed making VFX for the project. I'm open to a lot of things.
That's awesome, and that is one of the best things about coming to the school. Would you say you get a taste of it all?
Yeah, you do, and it's like, man, I'd really love to do more of like this or that, and so there's a lot of things I'd like to explore.
Right on. Stanford, what did you work on?
So I'm Stanford. I'm the environment artist and also the UI artist. So what you see inside the environment product is just basically what you go to HAM, exactly same product, but just different color.
Okay.
Just make it cheap.
You have a giant character flailing around as one of the background art elements. Did you put that in there?
Probably talking about the dragon. So the dragon was made by Ajay. The M3 auto. And most of the time I make is about buildings, this kind of like architecture stuff and props, this kind of easy stuff. The monster was like.
I'm not sure. It was going by pretty fast. I just know there's a giant thing.
If you're talking about the Great Monster, so that is assets from another team called Vitacro.
Okay. And so you put it into the game.
Yeah, because it's like student project, so we want to like put everyone's essay inside as a memory, but at the end we don't got enough time, so we just put two.
All right, gotcha. So you did the environment art. Did you also figure out the track layout, or how did you kind of make it sort of work together? The look of the backgrounds and also where you needed to go with all the shortcuts and stuff.
Oh, so basically most of the time I would just lay on our level designer and we just yell at each other.
Wait a minute. I just said you guys were chill. All right, okay, gotcha. Was it a little bit of a push-pull that way?
Yeah.
Trying to kind of get your vision, but it also had to work too. Yeah. Was that a good lesson for you to learn as an artist?
Yes.
Yeah, that it's not just about the beauty of the whole thing. It's does it play well?
pretty much very well. But at the beginning, we tried to go for like Cyberpunk, but at the end, most of the people are saying, "Are you guys making Tron?"
Yes, it's hard to lose that influence, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's such a big part of video games. Even though Disney can't figure out what the hell to do with Tron, it's influencing so much of our work out there, isn't it? Yeah, it's awesome. Now, do you want to stay as an environment artist as you get into the professional world?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Make buildings and stuff.
Make buildings.
Maybe a Tron game down the road.
Probably.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, Eduardo, you were the level designer. And
I was the level designer
Yeah.
and the vehicle artist.
And the vehicle artist.
Yeah, so as Jen said, I really love motorcycles, airplanes, cars, and all kind of vehicles. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed designing the motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the futuristic thing that we came up with. So yeah.
So you actually, I mean, they're hover bikes with wings. So you kind of gave them a, kind of like a reality check, right? If they're going to be jumping and flying, you might as well put wings on those things. But the bikes themselves feel like they were influenced by some of the hover bikes that are actually happening in the real world today. People are working on jet bikes and things like that.
Yeah. My inspiration was all kind of motorcycles and hover bikes and airplanes. So yeah, it just popped in my mind, and then that's the result. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Awesome. And what was it like designing the racetrack?
Actually, when we were prototyping, I was looking at MotoGP tracks.
Yeah.
It was boring as hell.
Yeah.
So actually, this is based on a Mario Kart track. So it's much better because you can see that we have a tunnel and then we have elevation. So yeah.
Do you know why the MotoGP tracks are boring as hell?
I think it's because they're real and our games become more cardish, you know?
Yeah.
So
You don't want to kill the racers.
Yeah.
You want them to finish the race and not die.
They are fun, they have a good turn.
Yes.
It's kind of difficult. Yeah, that's more
It's not working for a game. Yeah, so as you can tell by the sales of MotoGP games and Mario Kart. People would rather play Mario Kart. Yeah, that's one. And what's it like to kind of, realize a vision like this and to put your name in the credits and finish a project?
Oh my God, it's awesome. Like seeing all the the final product. We have been working very hard for the last 4 or 5 months, and it's awesome. It's really good.
Right on. Yeah, you design levels and you design tracks. What did you like more? Or are you vehicles?
Vehicles.
Vehicles?
I would say vehicles.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Okay, talk to Eduardo if you need some cars or motorbikes especially. Yes, very cool. All right, let's talk with Teddy. What did you work on, my friend?
So I'm the only programmer in this group.
Okay, you're the only programmer.
Yes.
Yeah, and a god. Is that's on your card? Had you programmed anything before?
Yes, I just graduated from the competitor of the VFS, the Art Institute of Vancouver.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we don't. And you were programming there?
I studied specifically in the game development.
Okay. And so you had a little background.
Yes.
Yeah. Was this the most challenging thing that you've worked on so far?
Yes, I never made like racing game. I never made like a multiplayer game, and especially like online game.
Oh, right. Networking
Yeah,
and streaming code because you have all this information coming in at you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. What was the most rewarding part of this particular project?
So it's really a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, because like our idea is like I was jumping around, so I just going to make everything and then let them choose what they wanted to.
Oh, interesting. You gave them a menu of what you're capable of.
Yes, I just made everything that I think it could be possible that to be in a game, something like that.
He really is a god. It's quite frightening, right?
It's a story like when we did Relay, like we were like, what are we gonna do? What's gonna be the twist that we put in this racing game?
Yep.
We already had racing in a jetpack because Teddy had just made it.
Oh, that's hilarious. So you just made a bunch of elements. That's incredible. That's awesome. So you've got a couple of years at least of game development instruction behind you, and you've got some taste of game programming. Is this your future? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, it was my like goal since I was a kid that I want to make a game.
You still are a kid, my friend. That's awesome. Okay, so you're gonna be a game programmer. Good luck out there, my friend. And congrats and good luck to all of you. You guys get a chance to play Zero Friction. It's a 4-player cooperative game, and you can talk to these fine gentlemen. Thank you guys. All right. And now it is time for, I forget that. What is it? VitaCore. Now it is time for VitaCore. How are you? What is it? Luan, yes. And Sir? Yes. And Marco? Yes. And Ugo. All right. Okay. Luan, take us in. Did I say that right? You press the bottom. There you go. Take us into VitaCore. Take us into VitaCore. Yeah.
Okay, VitaCore is 2v2 3D mobile shooter game. So basically, we have 3 different class. So it's tank, archer, and the engineer. So player can choose one of them and fight each other. And in the meantime, we also need player need to deal with 2 different elemental bell bosses and 1 minions.
Nice. Now, why did you guys decide to do a MOBA shooter game?
Because we are all really enjoying playing mobile game, something like Smite, League of Legends, and like Overwatch. Overwatch is always like a bit ability-based game, so we kind of combine the 2 concepts together.
You like the idea of a heroic, constantly leveling up character that's got a lot of different challenges in the world.
Yes.
And that's exactly the kind of game that you made. How does it feel to have this game available for people to play today?
Sorry?
How does it feel to finish the game?
Because this game we have a lot of things with bosses, we have abilities, we have a lot of things. So we hope everyone can enjoy this game.
Very nice. You were the project manager?
Yeah, I'm project manager and the lead design, and also I had some secret role like technical artist and visual effect artist, and I'm also voice actor for our engineer.
You're the voice actor for the engineer. So these guys stayed home then? Yeah, it's a secret roles. I love that. What was your favorite role of the many hats you wore?
Actually, I'm very enjoying doing level design and especially for visual effects like particles.
Okay.
Because I have no any experience before I do this game.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. I watch a lot of tutorial. I learned a lot from our artists also. So yeah, I'm really enjoying.
Isn't it amazing that sometimes the smallest little additions can turn out to be the most satisfying, and how necessary they are in a good game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you're going to be doing something in games. We don't quite know what yet, but it sounds like you're ready for anything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk to Ugo. What did you work on, my friend? Oh, sorry, yes, sir. Sorry, guys. So I just met you, so he's off.
Yeah, okay. So I was a programmer and I did UI animations and animations. Integration of animations.
Okay, so programming and animations.
Integration.
Integration, okay.
All the UI, all the gears in the main menu, everything.
Okay, so programming.
Yes.
In many
spectrum.
Yeah, very cool. Did you have a favorite element in that coding, or was it all the same kind of work for you?
Well, it was all different thing in different pieces, but like I liked it all. Basically.
Nice. Was this something that you had any affinity for prior to the school, or was everybody saying you should be a game programmer?
I kind of always wanted to be one, but like didn't know how to start. So basically it was it.
That's cool.
Also I wanted to do multiplayer games, which was extremely enjoyable for me to play, even like to make.
Awesome. Tell me what it's like to come to a school like this and to have the the technical resources, but the connection to people that have done this a lot. And I imagine that you probably didn't know tons of game makers before this.
Oh yeah.
Right. So what was that like for you?
Actually learning from their experiences and like combining our knowledge and skills is hard, like better thing to trying to learn it by yourself.
Yeah.
So I think I gained a lot from that.
That's wonderful. And so programming is your thing, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whether you're getting paid for it or not, it feels like. That's awesome. And so is there a specific track in programming that you would love to do? Or
I love it all.
you love it all? Okay, I like that. Great attitude. Marco, what did you work on?
So I was one of the artists,
Mhm.
and they basically did either both character art and environmental props also.
Great. Were you using tools that you were familiar with, or was this all brand new for you?
So I started learning 3D art when I came here.
Yeah.
This was my first experience. Before I thought I was going towards programming,
Mhm.
but I always like loved art. Like I've been drawing my entire life basically.
Yeah.
And then when I got into like more like ZBrush digital sculpting, I started like following off with this, especially characters.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from this whole process. Like at the start, like, to be frank, like if I could do these characters again, I would do them like twice as fast and twice as better.
Yeah.
At this point,
That's always the way.
Yeah.
But it probably helped a lot that you had some 2D background, right? And
Yes.
sketched a lot over your life.
Yes, and my father used to like really reinforce me and my brothers to like art in general, like
Nice.
instruments, painting, all this kind of stuff, which is really cool.
That's great. I hear that all the time from people that I interview in the art discipline, that, it doesn't matter what you do in games if you're an artist, but if you have that pencil and paper kind of background, it's going to be incredibly beneficial. Yeah.
100%.
And would you recommend that to, people even younger than you that are thinking about becoming an artist? Is to just sketch and draw all the time without any technology?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the good thing about 3D is that if you draw, you sometimes have a rubber, but in 3D you just control it and undo it. So you can make an imperfect and always like go back and try to make the best possible. That's why we have so much cool stuff on 3D.
Cool.
Such amazing characters. And yeah, of course, like always practice your like artistic side. Go for ZBrush, do some cool stuff. Because the rest is also like really, really important, but it's technical, it can be learned. And I mean, overall, it's just how much you love 3D.
Right.
And for me, like I went through like basically the whole pipeline you need to know, which is making a character, rigging a character, texturing a character, doing animation for a character, and also doing environmental props, rigging environmental props, and
That's like 10 jobs, by the way. That's amazing.
I mean, it's a learning experience, so I was down for that.
That's great attitude. Is there one of those positions or disciplines that you'd like to specialize in, or do you want it all, anything?
It's really, really hard, but I think I'm leaning more towards character art because I mean, I don't know. I wanted to do environmental props because it's really, really, really awesome what you can do. You can build a whole like environment that you like.
Yeah.
But like characters for me, like it's a little bit above.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck with those dreams. And Hugo, did you work in the art department too, or what did you focus on?
Actually, I was the other artist in this project, but before I come to VFX, I graduated as a school related with the digital arts, and basically they were teaching basically 3D stuff. I mean, of course, not modeling them, but how to put them into the video streams and make effects and that kind of stuff. But before I come to VFX, I had no idea about how to create characters for games, how to optimize it. Oh my god, it was the hardest part of all.
And have it all working in real time, right?
Oh, yeah.
The camera going in every direction.
Oh, yeah.
Fast. Yeah. And did you find that a lot of the sort of early stuff that you were building artistically was just breaking and not working, and you were learning from that as you were putting that stuff together in the game?
Yeah, actually, before we come here, I worked in a super small scope mobile game project, and I had a little bit of background about how to optimize characters and what I do and how do I have to implement them. Actually, I had a little bit background. That's why it wasn't that hard to do it.
Okay.
But overall, like of course, learning new concepts like normal maps, like sculpting, and like especially my other artist friends knows like perfect edge loops for animations.
That's awesome. So your background and all the combined kind of team energy and enthusiasm for this project made this game way overscoped, with a lot more things in it that you really should be able to do in 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Actually, but how does it feel? Does it feel pretty damn good that people are going to be playing this tonight?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's a funny story. So while we were like designing our game, one day Mark and SR came and said, "Hey guys, we are making a mobile game." I was like, "Okay, like, I mean,
It's a viewer scope, but here we are actually. We are all characters and they all polished. And we delivered everything we promised for.
That's
That's
great.
why I'm really proud of my team.
Awesome. And are you going to be fighting Marco for character artwork?
Oh no, I'm planning to go for the generalist.
A generalist in the art field.
Yes.
Awesome. Congrats, you guys. Enjoy the game tonight, but more importantly, meet these guys and talk with them. Good luck out there. All right. And our final game of the night is Elder. Elder? The Elder. Our final game tonight. Daniel, good to see you. May. Mariana? Marina, sorry. Lisa. And Kelly. Allie. And Zion. All right, good to see you all. Daniel, take us into The Elder.
Hi everyone. Our game, The Elder, is a third-person adventure game where you play as a young boy named Rakosh, who is accompanied by a tree companion as they set out to restart the cycle of the forest. I was actually, we really wanted to challenge ourselves with doing something with no combats, as well as something that really focused on strengthening all our skills. And it was a great journey, and I think it really paid off in the end. We're very proud of the product we made.
That's a very interesting kind of direction for a game that people need to play in 10 minutes, but you need to make in a few months as well, right? This is a game that encourages players within that short amount of time to explore and to get a lot out of the experience. Not easy to do.
Yeah, it was actually a really big challenge for that, which our level designer will go into a little more detail with that. But it's very interesting to see the varying play times and styles, and like just that everyone really enjoyed taking in the environment and going around. And that was an experience that was very interesting to see.
You have a large group here, relative. It's a tiny team is making way too big of a game. It's that same story over and over again. But I'm wondering, how do you determine that path? Do you poll everybody and you pull some straws? Like, how do you know that this is the game you're going to do?
Oh, it was actually really weird. We all sort of had an idea of what we wanted to do for a final project and things that we wanted to highlight. And together, we had this idea. It was actually from Marina. She actually took inspiration from Lord of the Rings, and then it's like, oh my god, this is an amazing idea. Let's go with it. And
so that's an ent up there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hoping lawyers will be in touch with you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think we changed the style enough.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, like our original idea is like from week one, we just hit a stride, and we just like, even though our design did change quite a bit, it stayed on the same path, and we were extremely motivated to just get this idea out of our heads and into a game that we can share with people, and I think we killed it.
Very cool. What's the experience like of being a project manager?
I was actually really good. Like, it helped that I was on a very motivated team, and everyone was like very willing to do what they needed to do. And any changes that needed to be made, it was more, all right, let's sit down, let's fix this problem. And we all did that as a group, and everyone was there, hands on. And we just really worked hard and pushed for this, and it was great because it was more like, okay, guys, what do you need me to do? What can I do for you? And like, let's see how long it will take. And everyone was just right on it, which made my job super easy.
That's great. Is this an inspiration for you to continue this in your professional career? Or
not necessarily. Like, well, I did enjoy being a PM. The hardest part for me was that I really enjoyed being part of the design process. And while I was part of the design for the pre-pro, obviously as a PM, most of the stuff is outside of the engine. But when I was doing a lot of the technical art aspects later in the development, when that was needed, I enjoyed it a lot more. And I feel like if I was part, I really enjoyed being part of that design and want to give input to my team. But that's very hard to do when you're outside of the engine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've got a couple of different tracks that you might be able to follow there. That's awesome. May, let's find out what you worked on.
So I was a character artist, as well as I did some concept artwork for the characters.
That's great. So did you design the tree character?
Yes, I did. It was a process. Originally, he was like a literal tree that like moved branches, but then everyone was like, that's too tree-ish. And I was like, okay, let me give him 3 eyes. I designed them. I tried to stay away as far as I could from Groot because.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous tree characters now, isn't there? Damn Groot. Yes, and variations of Groot as well. Was this something that you'd always dreamed of being able to do, or was this something that they said we need you to do this?
I've always had like a very, I always had like an interest in creating characters and stuff. I have a bit of a 2D background too.
Okay.
Yeah, to be doing some 2D, some 3D character artwork. I wanted to like improve my 3D skills and be able to like put in an engine in video games and stuff like that. So yeah, I wanted to expand on that.
Did you start with concept sketches?
Oh,
And
definitely.
everything 2D for a bit?
Yeah.
And you started to flesh it all out?
Yeah,
So how
definitely.
many variations do you think you came up with of our characters?
So for Chi, there was probably like 3 or 4, and then for Makosh also 3. At first it was like, you know, he had a cape, and then someone was like, no cape. He roasted me, and then I reiterated again, and then he was like, it looks like he's coming out of like a shopping mall. So then I reiterated. It was just basically like until.
Brutal teammates.
Oh no, it was the mentors.
Mentors? Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, I see.
He was like, yeah, no.
Releasing some steam, it feels like. You've got some pressures at work though.
No, my teammates were always really supportive. Like, they were always like, "Oh, this looks really cool," but like, "What if you did this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," and it was like, "Oh yeah." So yeah.
That's great. So it sounds like you could be in the concept stage of making games, all the way up to modeling and animating.
Definitely.
Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Characters.
my two. I like environments too, but my main goal I think is like concept 2D art. But I really do like making characters and like, you know, in the 3D sphere. I think I really do enjoy making.
You know what they say? Game's always going to need characters. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Awesome. Let's talk with Rita. What did you work on?
I was the environmental artist on this project.
Nice. I noticed a little bit of greenery.
Yes.
This is a lot of work right here is what we're looking at.
Yeah, it worked out to be just shy of 100 assets, which was, I did not think we were doing that many.
Do you want to outlay your hours that you worked on this?
Too many probably.
Have you called your mom in a while?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, I actually like, I learned a lot about, I did a lot of like hard surface modeling before this. In school, I didn't come from an art background. Coming into this program, I actually really thought I would end up as a designer, a level designer. Art just kind of happened, and I was like, this is so fun. I love doing this.
Wild.
Are
you a gamer? Are you a big game player?
Yeah, I came into games a bit later in my life. I was originally going to school for medicine, and I was like, I hate this, and I love games, so why am I doing this?
I love that damn story. I love when I hear that, and I hear that, quite often. People find it and they go, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Was that also a part of this process over this last year? Is sort of, finding the passion of everybody in your team, but also everybody in the program?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from May as an artist. We had a lot of really talented artists in our class, and I feel like they taught me so much, and we all got to work really collaboratively. Like this project, there's a lot of greenery, as you can see in the project, which was like a lot of learning for me, because we don't really learn that in this program. It was fairly self-taught, so it was cool working with the other artists in this program and kind of figuring out like how foliage works and how much of a nightmare it can be sometimes, especially with lighting and things. So yeah, that was an amazing learning curve, and I developed a love for like organic modeling too. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. Is that now the career path that you'd like to pursue?
Yeah, in modeling or texturing, I've actually made almost every material in this game, with a few exceptions of like characters and the water. Which Daniel worked on.
That's great. So like taking photographs and scanning them in, or
it was a bit of both. Mostly actually in Substance Designer. Just working from scratch in visual scripting kind of in their language. And then there was a few that I did testing some photogrammetry stuff. I was playing around with for the big red trees. Went and found some red maples and took pictures of them and tweaked them in Photoshop.
Awesome. All right. So we'll be looking to playing games with the worlds that you create for years to come.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Lisa, what did you work on?
So I was the level designer for the game.
Okay. That is a challenging role in a game. That is, the game is the level.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
you've got to know where you're going and solve the level. Yeah, that's a big challenge. Was that rewarding or was it
It was
careful?
definitely challenging
Yeah.
because making a very linear game with a short amount of time for the player to go through the entire game is definitely a challenge. Because I want the player to hit all the beats and get to the boss fight and hopefully finish that as well. So
I was telling you guys this is like my favorite genre. I love games that require a lot of puzzle solving and a lot of exploration. I like combat stuff for sure, but it is really fun to get lost in that game. Is that where you kind of went first to some of the games that have best?
initially, when I did my white boxing, the level was very linear. It's like I can't just you just go straight. There was no exploration at all. And then once we started getting art, and I realized that the players do want to explore a forest more, so I ended up opening more areas and allowing more exploration for the player, and it did help a lot. People did like go into walk around and enjoy what's going on.
That's awesome. What's it like to watch people play your game?
It was really nice early on, seeing where players would get frustrated and lost and confused, so I can work on that. And then now seeing players go through areas that I know something's going to happen and seeing their reaction afterwards is really rewarding. That's what I like.
That's awesome. Do you want to continue to make levels?
Yeah, level design is definitely something I want to continue to pursue. It's really fun.
Right on, Lisa. Okay. Allie, let's find out what you worked on.
Hello, so I was one half of the programming duo. I did part of the gameplay programming, the audio implementation, and then my big challenge was I programmed the tree companion.
Nice. That companion is incredibly crucial to this enjoyment of the game, but also the lore and everything you're building up.
Yeah, so that was a big challenge, was keeping him, since he's a companion, keeping him with you and feeling like he's available at any time, but also not intrusive, not in the way, impeding you.
And the character is there the whole time.
Yeah, so actually it was a big challenge. I worked closely with Lisa for pretty much all of the development, just like she would put new stuff in, and then every day we would check in together and make sure that I was aware of any bugs, if the tree was blocking you.
Was there ever like you turn around and the tree is like sideways and I can't move? And
yeah, I would call it his rebellious phase. He was being naughty, so
upside down.
He had to go to school and learn some new behavior. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's very cool. Had you programmed a game before or had any experience like that before?
I had some programming experience. I actually have a degree in computer science, but I've never programmed for games before at all. So that was a totally new experience.
What's different? What makes programming for a game something unique and special as opposed to whatever else you program?
It's more of a creative process. The programming I had done before was strictly like mathematical, theoretical, sort of boring, kind of dry. I think this is more.
I would imagine some applicable learnings from that world. Maybe more, because you're recreating reality.
Yeah. All the mathematical calculations, that really helps to have that background as well.
That's great. So you're staying in programming.
Yes.
All right. Very cool. All right, Zion, you also did the programming?
Yeah, and technical design is kind of my
Okay. Very cool. So in that you're helping to guide the player a little bit? Is that sort of one of your?
Yeah. So what I kind of did was the time system, and then worked with Lisa on the boss fight, just like integrating her ideas and deciding with her how it would all function.
Right. And, the boss fight took a long time too.
It took a while to get it to a point where we were happy with it. Yeah. And even then, there's still parts we would love to have improved on now.
Yeah. When you got together as a collective and sort of went over the vision and the direction for the game, what was coming up for you guys? What kinds of games were you constantly referencing?
Yeah, we were looking a lot at games like Shadow of the Colossus or the new God of War with the AI companion. And we really wanted to bring together that companionship, but also just this sense of awe in the world that these games give players.
And now that you've made a game that's in the shadow of Shadow of the Colossus, what is the what do you take away from that? Like, what did you think? What did you learn, and what do you appreciate about finished work that can influence games like yours?
Yeah. Big bosses are really hard to do. And I have a huge honor for everybody that these teams that have worked tirelessly on these games with the giant set pieces and moving environments
And it's incredible to be able to make one and have it playable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And does it feel pretty damn impressive to be able to, for yourself, to be able to share this with people and then play it?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, that's great, dude. Are you going to be a programmer as you're entering into the pro world?
I kind of like to enter the like technical design field, which is like programming and design hand in hand. Sure, kind of the idea.
Sounds like one of the most crucial parts of making games, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. This is Zion, and this is the rest of the team behind the Elder. You guys get a chance to play it, but more importantly, you get a chance to talk with all these wonderful people. Thank you so much. Congratulations. All right, you guys, that does it for PG54, Game Design 50? Game Design 54?
Yeah.
All right, GD54, PG15. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you go and talk to these people and get hammered.
All right.
Okay, so Scott's gonna give us some quick, what we're gonna do next.
5 minutes, right? So take 5 minutes, go grab a drink of water, stretch your legs, get out of this room for 5 minutes, come back here, 2:45. We made some notes. I've only got a couple pages worth here, and Steve's pretty much the same, and we'll give you some stuff to help you out, hopefully, and then we'll run it again. Okay?
Yeah, so the timing's pretty good. We don't have to color too much. We just want to optimize some of the how talking in between each other and flowing. So 5 minutes and then back.
The actual game. The actual thing.
Yeah, I'll see if it's better maybe a run through into the browser.
I noticed that. I went through, like, okay, okay.
Smile thing.
I didn't realize
I love pixel art. I'm sure but I know that there's a lot of
Yeah, I'm hoping eventually guys that that's fun. I know that they have a lot of seats to take, but there's something to be said about building it. Yeah, I know. So give a little back, try something for a bigger game without DLC. Yeah.
Okay, folks, 2:45, let's get everyone back. Do a sweep, let's find the stray sheep.
A little bit bright, just a little bit.
Like brighter?
Just a little bit, but not too much. A little bit. No, because it's hard to miss those. Like around, yeah. It's just like yeah.
I'm gonna give you a chance to play with the build to the test. Like everyone up. Everyone is saying.
Yeah, you're gonna get some.
I can throw up. You get everyone back?
No.
Who's someone else?
Yes. Yeah. So we want you guys now.
Yeah. Missing anyone else?
Get them in. You guys are first. We want to talk to you guys.
I can't see. I'll share a couple things. Lights are bright, right? Yeah. One TV producer used to tell me, stare into the light.
That is what you don't do.
Yeah. Stare into the light long enough that your eyes adjust, and then you can just look.
Hey, if your team members are not here, can you text them to come right away, please?
Yeah. If you don't have a full team, find out where they are and get them back ASAP. So what we've done now is we've got nice marked X's. We got a nice pink X for Victor and a green X for whoever the PM is. In general, the PM goes across the stage, they grab the microphone, and then they feel tethered to this safe little area. And then usually they're spanned between themselves and the rest of the team. It feels weird and awkward. So you kind of want to cuddle up back to your team. And some of the people, when they're a smaller team of 4, there's the team of 4 here, a gap, and then Victor. So you want to kind of like try and move closer to Victor and kind of cozy up. So he's going to stay hopefully anchored at that pink X, and we'll move that way. So it's kind of weird to have the PM off to this side. So we don't need to use the full stage. So that's why I'm going to try and use the green X as a bit of a anchor point for whoever the PM is. But decide to move this way if you're a team of 4. So just kind of modulate to suit. The other thing we want to do is when the teams come up, sometimes if you have a very tall team member and not so tall team member, it amplifies their height delta. So we're going to have you guys get up on stage. We might shuffle you in order a little bit, but once the order feels good, that's okay. It's just a subtle thing, but it makes it just look better. I'm going to take a photo of each of the team members in the order that they go on the stage as a helping guide for Victor that then Paul is going to print out for him. So I've got a camera. We're going to want each of the teams up on stage. We're going to put you in the order. And if you're going to do anything and look different for Industry Night, if you're going to take off your hat, oh my God, Steve's got a head under there. We want you to be what you're going to look like as close to tomorrow night as possible. So Mario with glasses in the hat. If you're going to remove both, then please. We need to know what you're actually going to look like when I take the photo. That is the best that we can do. So in general, it's pretty good. The microphone technique was okay. I'm managing it. The game I'm still wrestling with, the volume. In general, whoever is starting up, the game should be up and running when the team comes up. So you can go there a bit before. You don't have to wait till everyone's off the stage to run up there. The other thing is, if you're here with the microphone last, don't pass it to the PM to put it back. If you're the last person with the microphone, which would make sense as it goes this way, you're responsible for putting it back in. But don't turn it off, because turning it off takes too long to restart again. So it should only just turn red. One quick press, that's all we should be doing. Never a long hold, and it turns off, because then the next person has to turn it on. So I'm going to pass it over to Scott.
I made notes. So the first thing I have to share with you, and it doesn't always come across, and I need you guys to make sure this part comes across. Be really proud of your games, okay? And what I mean by that is, for the last 3-4 months, you've heard nothing but negative comments and instructors and mentors telling you what to fix, what's broken, what doesn't work, how bad this is, how can we make that better? And that's all so that you will raise the bar and build the best possible thing you can build, which you've done. So at this point, you need to take some pride in the stuff you've done and make sure that everyone in the audience feels that pride as well. Okay? I've seen a lot of games. They look great. On that front, know your audience. Our audience is largely sympathetic. Okay? There's roughly 3 groups to our audience that will always show up. There's a group of ex-VFS students, probably about a third of the audience on any given night. Don't ignore these people. You'll probably know a good chunk of them, okay? They're here for free alcohol. Okay? But the reason I don't want you to ignore them is that they are often working in companies and can be a great reference to help you get in the door. Keep in mind, your job here is to get a job. Okay? We're taking care of no resume, no cold calling. We're bringing the interview to you. So your game up here is your calling card. It's the attract loop, if you will. The purpose of it is to get someone to talk to you upstairs who can potentially give you a job. That first group of people is that first potential. The second group of people, and I want you to be very special attention to these group of people, this is the other end of the spectrum. These are hiring managers. You will recognize them. I won't have to point them out. Okay? These are producers and directors who have the ability to say, Miguel, do you want a job, son, on the dotted line right here, right now? I haven't seen a class finish and not have at least one person have a job offer that night. So you want to be that person. Great if we get multiples. Okay, that's the other end of the spectrum. Hiring managers. Like I said, you will identify them very, very quickly. They're going to be very, very obvious to you. There's a group in the middle. And that group in the middle are what we call surrogates. Those are the people that the hiring managers send. These are the senior programmers or the senior artists. They said, look, there's another pitch and play. There's probably somebody good down there, but I don't have time to go. So I'm going to send Glenn instead. And Glenn is going to come back and tell me all the great people I need to interview. Right? So that's your audience that you're playing to. I would say 50% of the audience are VFS grads at some point. Yeah, at least, history-wise. So they've been here. They're going to be very sympathetic. So don't worry about screwing up. Okay? Be proud of your games. They show well. You're going to be fine. That's the first part. The second part, I want you guys to get out of your vocabulary any sense of an excuse or an apology. Oh, I couldn't do this because. Oh, I didn't have enough time to do this. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't get this. We lost a team member doing that. Get rid of that entirely out of your vocabulary.
Yeah, no negative, be positive, be 100% positive. It's not a problem, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And no blame.
No blame.
Animation stuff that happened.
Yep. The thing that goes with that is something that somebody once told me, which is, always try to make the person standing next to you look better than you. Because you'll get that back in space. Right? You're here to try and promote each other to try and get the best possible opportunities. So while there's a little bit of competition I get in the room, there's also a lot more cooperation. That also means if you have one person upstairs who's monopolizing one person's time, and you can step in and interrupt that conversation and take them away, so that hiring manager you see that's standing behind them can talk to them, you can help your friend out by taking the person who's consuming their time away and let the hiring manager in. So if you help each other out, each of you will get that back.
The game industry is incredibly small. It's incredibly small. You get to know a lot of people very, very quickly. So yeah, you put your best foot forward, and these people that you've gone to school with for a year could end up being the people that hire you. So just respect each other, support each other, and come out smiling. This is the big day for all of you.
Another part I made note here of that you can all kind of dispose of is, oh, I'm new to this. Well, you're all new to this. So you can kind of like toss that off the end of the truck as well, and you don't need to bring that up. Everybody in the audience was new to this at one time too. Okay, again, sympathetic audience. He's really good at maneuvering.
Yeah. I mean, I roll with whatever you guys give me, and honestly, if I ask a question that isn't exactly, what you want to talk about, it's okay. Just take it and go in the direction you want to go, and then I'll pick up those cues and I'll try to keep it going. All right. I've never made a game though, right? So I don't know all the details about what you guys do.
The things to focus on are what did you do, right? And what do you want to do? Because what you're doing is you're telling everybody in the audience what things you would like to be interviewed for. And I've seen it a million times. People in the audience will sit there with our program and they're going to make notes, right? Oh, I'm looking for a technical artist and I'm going to circle this person and that person because they said that's what they want to do. And they're going to try and find you and talk to you. So you want to give them those clues. You don't need it doesn't need to be a secret. Tell them, I would like to build worlds for a living and get paid a lot of money to do it. Please, a little money. Okay, some money. Just let me do it. Right. On a smaller scale, be careful about the way you phrase your roles versus titles on games. And that's more just not wanting to offend somebody in the audience. Okay, if I'm the lead programmer while I'm standing up here talking about my student game, the lead programmer on the coalition is going to be pissed at you because he's probably put in more time and energy and effort getting finally to be called the lead programmer on the coalition's Gears of War franchise than you have saying you're the lead programmer. Okay, so you can talk about the roles you took on. Yeah.
I had a question about that because I'm officially listed as the technical artist on our project. I'm really more of a VFX artist.
Right. So one, try not to split too many hairs.
Okay.
Because the definitions of the roles you'll find are very different in industry than what you think they are. Right?
But that's not something that's gonna piss someone off.
No, but I took care of visual effects on the project as opposed to I was the visual effects artist. Sounds different.
Which is better?
Yeah.
I would say I took care of visual effects on the project. I took care of the project management tasks and keeping track of what tasks people were working on when.
So I talk about what you did as opposed to what you were.
Yeah, so more what you worked on and not a title.
More the phrasing of it, right? And it's not everybody is going to take offense to it, but you do find some people who just get turned off, and that's the last thing you want to do, right? You're trying to get people there to try and talk to you.
One little note too about the project that you're showing off. I'm totally on board with what Scott's saying about being super proud of it, but also refer to it as the project that you finished, not the project of your life, right?
Yeah.
Because you're moving on to new things. And so it's the project, you're proud of it, you're happy that you did it, but it's a project. It's a stone on a path that's going to be very long.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everybody's looking for people who are passionate about what they do, and who run towards the biggest challenges they can find. So in that vein, this was a great challenge. It made you step out of your comfort zone. That was the purpose, right? And now that it's getting you some attention, how do you parlay that attention into the next bigger thing?
Yeah, and every synonym for collaboration couldn't be used enough. Like this is what it's all about. It's teamwork and working together.
Team and us.
Yeah.
Team and us.
Yeah. So every way that you guys can phrase how happy you were to work together, don't
Yep.
fake it, but that's a great story, and that every employer is going to want to hear that.
What percentage of the games that you review are solos?
None.
So
Well, Brian's, and no, not even none.
So
Because they all
leveraging on that, if you find that the conversation that you're having, if it leads to working with the acting students or the sound designers, you can say, I implemented the sound and we had a great group of collaborators. That shows that you are able to work with another discipline and still, that's more credit and more value to you as an employer, to an employer if you can actually work with another group of people. So if you find your conversation leads to either the discipline of the actors for voice, mocap, or the sound designers, you can just give them a little bit of credit. Say, yeah, we had a great team. It was really fun working with them. Or just
By the way, most of you did that really well.
Yeah, you were all great. I mean, this was all coming in as more, but you were all fantastic up there. It was really, really good, and the games are super strong, and you're going to do great.
Okay.
I'm very proud of all of you.
So we're going to get them up here so we can take the photos.
Yeah.
One other thing as a mental note, if you noticed anything in your build as you were playing it right here, we're going to go through it again. But I would stay tonight, make sure that you've got the right one on there at the right settings.
we've got time after
we're
this.
done.
We've got time after this second run to do any tech we want to do.
Yeah. So feel free to stay behind and make sure that the build's working with what you expect. Ideally, if it's already on there and working, you don't have to touch it, and you're all good. Okay. You only got a few minutes up there.
Be right back, guys.
Yeah, so you'll get a chance to play the gamma and all that stuff afterwards. So I just have a few.
Yeah, go.
So it's so remember Derek's class and my class was presenting. So some of you guys were kind of like doing this up here and hands in the pockets or kind of holding yourself like this, right? So you want to be upright. You want to be standing up here with confidence, talking about your game. And if you're not speaking, some of you are looking down at the ground like this. And so you can look at the people that are speaking. You can look at the audience and go back and forth, but don't be looking down at your shoes or at the stage. Don't look at the screen. I know some of you are like, oh, the gamma, oh my God. You guys have got a chance to fix all that, but definitely don't be tempted to look at the screen behind you. It'll take care of itself, and it's for those guys. I know it's probably the first time you're seeing it up there, so after we're done, you might want to go over there and take a chance or take the opportunity to see what's going on up there.
This is why we have Victor do what he does. If you feel you get stuck, either in rehearsal or on the night, try and just take a deep breath and let Victor guide you out of it, because that's what he does. He will bring out by asking you the right questions at the right time, so that you don't have shit. What are we talking about? Yeah, it's all good.
Do your best not to speak when you're up here if you don't have the microphone. I know there's some banter going on, and that was all right for the rehearsal, but you want to make sure that everybody can hear. If it's meant for everybody to hear, then you want to make sure you've got the microphone and keep it consistent. One more thing. Okay, just individual things. So ethos, you need as you know, you probably need a new build, and you need the gamma on there to work and save. And that's all I have. But I think for the most part, it's pretty good. I like the personalities coming out of you guys, using your hands and all that stuff while you're being when you're talking about showing passion and what the stuff you're talking about. I think that's great. And then the last thing, if any of the games have a cursor, make sure you move the cursor off into the corner, so that we're not staring at that arrow on.
One of the games had some debug info on it. That probably needs to go away.
I think they got a new build ready already.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead.
So we had cyber adrenaline.
Yeah, we're gonna go through it again.
Okay, wait for Victor to get back. So you can just wait. Actually, you can get it ready. Well, I'm not ready. Come on. Do you know where the
Okay, you guys up here first.
Okay, well, hang on a sec. Let's get.
Yeah, this one's gonna be. Get them up. Take your photos and then get it back down.
No, so we'll get Victor here. We'll bring you on the stage. We'll sequence you, and then I'll take the. No, that's photos. Beginning or end?
Carry your own controller with you.
At the end. Okay. This order is fine. Yeah.
But I want you to be able to get your photos.
At the end. Let's just run it first. Okay, have a game launch, guys.
Just go?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, welcome to the GD54 PG15 pitch and play evening tonight. You guys are in for quite a show, and it is always great to see Vancouver professionals come out and support the aspiring Vancouver professionals. The VFS works really hard to put on a very cool event for you, but more importantly, all of the students work their butts off to deliver something that is very fun for you to play, and you get a chance to potentially meet some new team members here. So it's a good deal for everybody. Let's get started and take a look at the games that we're going to start showing off tonight. We've got, forget the name, Cyber Attack. Cyber Adrenaline is up first, and we've got Marco. Come on up, my friend. Good to see you. And we've got, yes, and Rusty. And we've got David. Good to see you. All right. Marco, let's find out about Cyber Adrenaline.
Hello. Go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Cyber Adrenaline is an isometric top-down beat 'em up where you beat a lot of guys in a stylish fashion, and you try to take your noodles back from evil corporation.
Marco, why don't they make enough beat 'em ups these days? Why has that genre just fallen off the face of the earth? It's such a fun way to play a video game.
Well, the reason why is because the beat 'em up market was kind of saturated in the past. There's like so many beat 'em ups. And I guess people kind of got sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, just like any genre, there's so many out there. It's just like people get sick of it. So
it's time to bring it back.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of video games coming up, and then I think it's a great genre to take a look into.
Was this an idea that you proposed to these gentlemen, or was this a group sort of decision that you wanted to make a game?
It was definitely a group decision. Like first, actually, we wanted to make a fighting game because like it wasn't my sole passion. We wanted to make a fighting game. I'm not me. It was me. Like it was.
That's what we wanted to hear, buddy. That is it, right there.
However, our group was like, hey, let's make a fun beat-em-up game because our team had no programmers. Fighting games was really hard to make. So I love beat-em-ups too. Like I played a lot of beat-em-ups in the past. So let's make a fun beat-em-up game so many people can enjoy while it's easy to implement and just easy. Yeah,
that's great. So you're the project manager on the game. Did you do other things?
I did the combat design and I implemented the animation and sound as well.
That's great. You've got to taste a bunch of different disciplines. Do you have like a direction that you would like to go?
Definitely combat design. I had a lot of fun designing a lot of moves, designing how they feel, designing how they work. Like it's just a great thing to do. It's just like tuning like how it feels, tuning how it would work, like just like tuning overall to make a very fun and enjoyable experience for the player. I think that's my greatest passion I have, and I wanted to go in that direction.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay, yeah, let's find out the focus that you had, my friend.
So I was the level designer for this project.
Okay, cool. You guys chose a specific camera angle to play the game. Did that change your, your approach to level design? Was that a big part of how you kind of conceived everything?
Yeah, definitely. I think working with this sort of isometric camera was definitely really fun. New experience for me, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Did you have a different sort of version of the game where the camera was maybe like from a 2D perspective or something like that?
From the very start, it was pretty set on having an isometric view, which I was really excited to work with. Designing all the levels was amazing.
There was a time period in the video game industry where we got a lot of those types of games. Did you go back and look at some of the classic isometric games to get some inspiration?
Yeah, I definitely took a look at some of the old games, which I think a lot of us also went through together and see how they did it and how should we do it. A lot of that planning was fun.
That's great. What are you proudest of in level design for the game?
I think the flow of the level is really good. Just the pacing and everything, how everything's timed out. The placement of enemies, that's really fun. Me and Marco worked really hard deciding where we should place every enemy and how every encounter should feel.
Is that a big sort of secret to the success is to work with the combat designer and the sort of game director, I guess, or is it somebody that's sort of finding the flow to make sure that everything is positioned properly?
Yeah, I guess, and especially in this sort of genre, it's a good idea to work close with the combat designer, so everything can feel right and perfectly placed.
That's great. Are you going to stay in level design? Is that your dream?
For sure.
Yeah. Right on. All right, Rushdie, what did you work on?
I work on the environment, the UI. I also am the animator for all the characters, and also involved in the particles.
I don't even know where to begin, brother.
Yeah, a lot of jobs, man. That's a lot of stuff that I experienced. It was a lot of fun though, to experience all those different categories.
Yeah.
And it was very enjoyable working with these guys. Especially I need to work closely with Hangat and Marco.
Yeah.
Because they're the one that's behind the decisions of what should we focus on more.
Yeah. You can make everything move, but they got to make it feel good and play well, right? What did you do for the animations and stuff? Did you hand animate everything, or did you take motion capture?
All the animation I hand animated.
Yeah.
The way I started, I just took from a reference and we just watch a couple videos and watch frame by frame. And from there, I just kind of distinguish between which frames that needs to be the key poses that's really the readable for the players to see.
Yep.
And the thing is, I work. Marco is the one that involved in the frame data. So I work with Marco all the time to discuss how many frames for this attack should be. And since that, it's just quickly smooth out.
And do you work out the collision detection as well? Because that's a huge part of.
Collision detection is mostly these two.
Yeah.
Genius, obviously.
That's great. Did you have a favorite part of the work that you did in this game, and what would you like to carry on as you enter the professional realm?
The thing is, I love doing 3D art and animating, and those two don't want to be appreciated for the career that I'm looking for.
That's cool. So 3D art and/or animation.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Okay. David, what did you work on?
In this project, I worked on the character art and the environment professor.
Okay, cool.
Firstly, I have to explain why Rushdie did that much work. Because at the beginning, we separated the work.
Yeah.
I do two characters and some of the environment, and they do another. And after the milestone one, we changed our mind. Because I'm not that good to do the animation. So we switch, and I did 70% of the environment, and he did the rest of them and animation.
That is amazing. So you guys learned in real time that you had to shift in order to hit your milestones.
Yeah.
Which is an incredibly important part of game making, isn't it? Adapting.
I think it's on our how to say work separately.
Yeah. Like it's a big part of the success of the team. Is you can roll with it.
It's one of the success reason.
Yeah.
Another is Marco's leadership, I guess hard work, and our
I would say our
we are all the workaholics. Oh, you are workaholics. All of you are workaholics. Fantastic. Do you have a dream direction now for your career to go? What would you like to do as you start looking for work?
For now, I think I can do both 2D art and 3D art because I learned 2D art like industry and sketching for a few years and until from the beginning of the program to now I learned how to do 3D art character and animation.
Terrific. All right. So you're going to be an artist one way or another. Yes.
I can do both.
All right. Wonderful. All right. You guys get a chance to play Cyber Adrenaline, but you also get a chance to talk to these guys, especially if you're looking for some new people to join your team.
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Have a great night.
All right, our next team is, I can't remember, the Forgotten Son, and we've got Mario. Come on up, my friend. Good to see you. And Kate, good to see you. And Noah. And Gabriel. Yes. And Parker. Hello. Jasper. Sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
so.
All right, okay, cool.
Is there a way to do it so we don't have a mountain? Because we kind of have you guys going up and down and up and down.
Oh, I see.
So Kate, yeah, switch with Kate. There we go. So that feels a little bit more smooth.
A little more balanced?
That's the order we'll do.
Okay. All right, Mario, take us into the Forgotten Son.
So we're a third-person hack and slash. We went a little bit crazy and tried to make a game that grabs a Lovecraftian style with a Mayan theme. We kind of lost it through the process because we reiterated so many times and changed our game so many times. But the story goes that you are in a fight between the god of death and the god of the sun. So you are like in the middle, and the sun god is asking you to go and defeat the death god. So that's kind of how our game goes.
That's cool.
And that's how we started.
Did you start with the idea of the theme of the game, or did you start with the mechanics? Like, what did you kind of all work towards?
It was a little bit of both. We started with the mechanics and the theme, but everything changed throughout the game, and we have a hack and slash now with some magic. We started with 12 kind of magics in our prototype. So you can see we killed a lot of things that we really liked, and we got used to cutting things. So I think we polished as much as we could, as much as we can.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. You were the project manager on the game?
I was the project manager. I did some of the visual effects, so I was half of the level design. I see myself as trying to help everyone with whatever I could. I tried to do the tedious work so they didn't have to do it. And that was basically how we got here.
Was that what you signed up for when you came to the school? Was that like in your head that was going to be your role and what you wanted to do?
The role I got was a little bit funny because I didn't want to make that role, but I kind of suited that role, so I just went with it.
Terrific.
And that's how.
That's awesome. And is that what you want to do now that you're entering the pro world?
I still want to learn as much as I can about all the roles that I can, so I'm still trying to figure out where I want to be. I see visual effects as my stepping point into the business, so yes, I want to learn everything.
All right, that's a great, healthy attitude. Noah, what did you work on?
I was one half of the programming team in this project. I had the responsibilities of doing the boss AI, the audio programming, the UI programming, and magic systems.
Wow. Talk to me about this boss. What are you guys trying to achieve with this character?
Well, the boss has 4 different stages of the boss fight. The first stage, he just attacks with his scythe. The second stage is he'll turn into a big titan, which Kate got to work on.
Yeah.
And he'll use a scythe attack, which will attack you, and he'll show like shadow ball NATOs at you.
And shadow ball NATOs.
Yes.
Okay.
My pleasure making that.
Yeah.
And then as you progress through the boss fight, he just gains more abilities to use against the player.
When you're stacking, all of this escalation in an action game like this, and you know that a big deal is the way it's going to end up, with this boss fight, do you schedule to that, and do you work your way backwards based on the way the game is going to progress, or how do you manage for that?
It was more so okay, I have a big task to do. What's the best way to tackle it first?
Yeah.
So I just got the entire thing in first with all the abilities, and then I just slowly started to cut it up more and more into different
To make it manageable.
stages.
Yeah. Cool. Did you enjoy game programming? Was that what you wanted to do when you came to the school?
Yes, it was. Ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to build worlds from nothing to something.
Right.
That's what I got to do with this project.
How's it feel to be able to share your game with people?
It feels really good.
Awesome. And so you want to stay a program?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, Kate, let's find out about your work programming on this game.
I worked on the player, the AI behavior, the combat, the Titan, and the environmental aspects. And I helped Jasper and Mario with the animation.
I love that everybody's job description is a shopping list. It's just like, okay, you did all of these different things. When you have so many tasks to tackle, which is what happens when you have small teams and no time, how do you determine what you're best at and what you want to continue doing as you leave school and go on to get a job?
Well, I find that you have to go through, find out what's your highest priority, and keep at it. And whether you're good at it or not, you have to learn how to do it.
Right.
And then I find that the more you work on it, the better you are at it, and then the better I like it. So I like it all.
I guess that one of the values of going to school as opposed to just, trying to find a job right out of high school or something like that is that you get a taste of a bunch of different disciplines before you enter into the real world, right? And that's got to be a huge benefit to understand all these different facets.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely learned a lot. I definitely learned more than I thought I would.
Did you know that you'd be programming before you came to VFS?
Yeah, I really wanted to learn to program.
That's great. And are you hoping that you do action games and stuff as you leave here, or is there a particular dream, project that you'd like to work on?
Well, it was weird because before VFS, I never really saw myself working in combat at all.
Mhm.
And then now that I work in it, it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. So.
Awesome. Sounds like you want to program and you're open.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Thanks, Kate. Gabriel, what did you work on?
So I did the environmental arts, the lighting, and then I offered the materials used.
You created the materials for the worlds?
Yeah,
That's great.
materials with textures.
How did you do that?
I learned how to use Substance Designer and Substance Painter.
Awesome. Hadn't touched that before?
No.
So what was that experience like for you? Was it daunting or was it fun or a little bit of both?
Yeah, a little both. I looked at a lot of tutorials.
That's great. Was that one of the most enjoyable elements of your work, or did you like other things more?
I think I like the entire experience really. I enjoy making all the looking at reference pictures and making the environment pieces.
That's great. Do you have a dream role in the video game industry in mind?
Nothing really specific. I mean, I learned a lot on this project about making art, environment art, using the tools. So I've been hoping to kind of find opportunity to learn a lot more.
Awesome. Are there games that you've played in your life that kind of inspired you to move in this direction and become a game maker yourself?
Probably nothing really specific. I have a lot of favorite games. Probably one of the biggest things that inspired me to move in this direction was watching another game studio develop their own game. And I thought it looked really interesting and fun.
Cool. Awesome. So you're going to be making worlds for us.
Hopefully, yes.
All right. Right on. Let's now get. Let's talk to Jasper. The brain is a mysterious organ. It works in different weird ways. Okay, Jasper, let's talk about your role in the game.
Hi, I'm Jasper.
What is it, Jasper? Jasper. Okay, Jasper. Okay. All right, good. Sorry. Do you know what my name is? Okay, good. All right, we're good. What day is, okay. Jasper, let's find out what you worked on.
So mostly for the project, I worked on the characters and the UI. I did a few other things, but basically I had a lot of fun creating a Mayan empress. That was cool. She had to use a lot of cool abilities, so that was kind of tricky to figure out. But yeah, the UI was fun and the characters were fun. There's gods and war and all of that fun stuff.
It's an incredibly rich resource to pull from to create art, right? I mean, the Mayan culture is just so loaded with color and artistic sensibility.
Yeah, it was actually kind of overwhelming because I didn't want to like do it as a service, but I also wanted to look Mayan, which was probably tricky. I pulled a lot from their architecture and their feathers and they have a lot of colorful headpieces, which was honestly so scary to make. Like I had no idea how I was going to make a headdress when I first was going to make this, but it's all alphas. I figured it out. Yeah,
that's cool. Had you ever crafted this kind of character construction or world construction like that before in anything?
Not really. I did like a lot of. I like to make characters, but I've never made 3D characters. So coming here, it was mostly just learning 3D, and that was really exciting, really fun.
And you bring up a good point about trying to like honor a culture, honor like real history, but interpret it and make it right for a game. That must be a really fun challenge.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Stuff like the mines and their blood sacrifice blend really well to video games, like the heart. I think was a pretty cool health bar, and it was awesome working with Noah because he was able to like animate UI without me having to draw frames. That was awesome. Yeah,
that's great. So you want to stay in the character creation model now? You want to keep doing that?
Yeah, character or UI or anything art. Honestly, even if it was environmental or generalist, I like a lot of different forms of art. So I'm open to a lot of stuff.
Right on. Okay, Jasper. And thank you to everybody on this team. Congratulations. And you guys all get a chance to play the game and talk with these fine folks. And we wait for pictures. I think I just need 40 pictures of Jasper.
Thank you guys.
All right, our next team, I can't remember the names yet. Ethos. Our next game is Ethos. Come on up, Connor. Good to see you. How are you? And Sergio and oh shit. Is it Jasper? No. What is Alejandro? All right, and Diego and Tawan and Piero. All right, cool. Okay. Oh yeah, we want to make a bit of a U shape. Perfect. All right, Mr. Connor, what is Ethos all about?
Ethos is a 3D third-person action-adventure game set in medieval fantasy time. And you play as the main character Arcadia, who's a female warrior. And she has a sword and magic abilities, and she gets captured by an evil king, and you have to escape the dungeon and fight your way through.
That sounds like an incredibly hard thing to do in 3 months, to make a game like this.
Yes.
But you knew what you're in for?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And we had to adjust a couple things and test some things to make the game a lot better.
When did you know what was going to happen? Because I imagine one of the most frightening things about game making is you don't know what's going to happen for a while. You put a lot of things together, but you don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, exactly. I think we learned about like around M2 that we had to start cutting a couple things.
We don't know what M2 is.
Oh, milestone 2.
Okay.
Yes. So, cut a couple of things to really enhance the important parts of the game.
That's cool. And how was it being the project manager on this team?
It was great. I came in every day and I had meetings with each and every one of them individually, one-on-ones. I'm sure they're annoyed with me that I just keep asking them questions and things are done all the time. But yeah, it was really good experience. First time for me ever doing project management.
Did you know you were going to do that when you came to VFS? Or?
No, I thought maybe I was going to do level design for my final project, like the final project. But then I did level design for my portfolio, so I wanted to try something new.
So you wanted to do this?
Yes, I wanted to try out project management. I actually have a background in marketing, so I wanted to kind of use those
incredibly important, right? I mean, I feel most of the producers and project managers that I've worked with, that's who they correspond with and connect with, because can't market the thing, doesn't sell, you don't get to keep your teams together.
Exactly.
So when you're the project manager and you get to talk with every one of these guys, is a bit like you're getting a deep dive into all of these disciplines.
Yeah, exactly. Like the inside take, all the information on how things work.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's the direction you'd like to continue.
Yeah, I would love to be a producer, project manager, or game designer, level designer, anything, pretty much in the industry.
Right on. Okay, let's start with Sergio. What did you focus on?
Hello. So I was kind of the general designer.
Yeah.
I did combat level narrative design.
Yeah.
In this game, because this game is like really heavy on narrative.
Yeah.
We even came here to record some motion capture. We cast actors. That was an amazing experience.
Yeah. Did you direct all the performers?
Both.
Okay.
It's one of the philosophies that we wanted to have as a team is like everyone can have their voice in like any other field.
Sure.
So even if you design what my field, like it's the project is for the entire team, right? So everyone has their take, and we try to accomplish something that let us get our foot into our industry.
Yeah.
So I think that it shows up, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. This is an incredibly deep experience, right? What are you most excited about with the game?
I think I'm more proud of the combat. Prior to that, we had a more slow combat because it's an animation-driven game. We didn't have what we have right now. It's more like a Witcher kind of style. That you can like cancel animations and things like that. And now like here's a machine, like a cooler machine. It's a little bit overpowered, but like it's really good.
It's fun for the demo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're wanting to get into design as you're living this, gameplay?
Yeah, I would like a role like game designer, gameplay designer.
And you'll only work for From Software, is what I heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Software or Naughty Dog.
Or not, just set your sights low. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, like I would like a game design opportunity, but also that's something that allows me to improve my narrative skills, because that's something I really enjoy. And I had like so much fun like writing and everything. I have like so much backstory for this, but no one read it.
That is the bane of every writer in the video game industry. How do I skip this cutscene? Especially if you're playing Kojima. Oh, okay. Let's move on to Alejandro. What did you work on?
Well, in the break I did AI and combat programming.
Okay.
Basically.
So you got to design Arcadia's kick-ass moves.
Oh, no, this was this guy.
Oh, he designed, but you programmed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And then you programmed the bad guys' moves.
Yeah, exactly. We changed the design of the combat like for 3 or 4 times, like 3 different styles, and I think this is like the best one we found, and I'm really proud of what we did. And working like with one for animations, like Piero matching everything, Diego, Connor, Sergio, I think it was really amazing.
So you got a real taste of that collaborative kind of effort, right? Like you got to lean on each other to build this stuff.
Yeah, we definitely have to like help each other, and we rely on other people's work. So if we all are on the same page, I think that works a lot.
Awesome. What did you enjoy the most out of the programming you did?
Well, I really like AI until it gets weird. Right. I would really love to.
That should be a fucking t-shirt.
I really like AI until it gets weird.
That's so prophetic.
I would really love to keep working on AI, like more conflicts and get there. But I don't know, everything's fine. Combat AI, gameplay, I'm down for everything.
Awesome. That is the right attitude. Okay, Diego, what did you work on?
I was part of the other side of the programming area.
Yeah.
So I implemented the UI, music, sounds, sorry.
Yeah.
And I also worked in collaboration with Alex, like doing the AI of the boss.
Yeah.
And also the main gameplay of the main character called Arcadia.
That's cool. How do you guys, not step on each other's toes when you're working on different sort of parts of the game at the same time, and like, how do you not break each other's code?
Well,
I guess someone has no idea how you do
Well, I think that the key is communication.
Yeah.
Like between like among the whole team.
Yeah.
Like we're always like I don't know, talking like what are you doing right now? Like is it like can I touch this? How do I do this? Like for example, some of the mechanics that the boss has is kind of similar with how all the other AI enemies work. So I was like asking Alex like, hey dude, can I use this? Can I like change this and this and this? And I don't know. I think it wouldn't be possible without communication.
Yeah, that's great. Are you hoping that you get to keep communicating with programmers and work in programming as you enter the game industry?
Sure. Yeah, I love programming. I'm a little bit interested on team management, but I think that programming is my passion, and I love to like do programming, but not by myself, like in a team environment.
That's great. That's cool. Okay. Tawan, let's find out what you worked on.
I'm the character artist in this team. I make all the character related stuff, such as modeling them, rig them, and clean the mockup data for them, and animate the rest of them.
You had some experience making animation before?
Yes, I have animation bachelor before I came here.
Oh wow! And that was for more traditional linear narrative type stuff, right?
It's kind of like more focused on animation.
Okay.
It's all done in the 3D software, not in game engine.
Cool. So this was the first time that you animated for a video game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now it's the second time, but the first time is a portfolio. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. And how did you like this process, and how does it feel to share your work with everybody?
I think the most challenging in this project is kind of lacking the mockup data. That's the most challenging part.
Yeah. Because it sucks here, right? You know, I'm just kidding. No, it's tough to take all of that data in and clean it up and get it all ready. So that's one of the challenging parts for animation, right? So you've actually found it easier to hand animate.
Yes, and because I create something kind of tools based on the knowledge like on the internet, it's way easier for me to like edit the mockup data, so it makes the things better.
That's great. Are you one of those animators that gets up from the chair and does all the moves and then sits down? He is, huh? That's awesome. What's your favorite flourish that your characters do in the game? What do you like the most?
Probably attack. Because I had animated it. So.
Very nice.
It's like this is a 20 cells version. I think.
Oh wow! It takes some time, doesn't it? So animation is where you want to go.
I don't mind to make animation, but mostly I want to be a modeler.
Oh, okay. So you've done a whole bunch of animation. You've gone to school for animation, but you want to model.
Yeah, because I think my skill in modeling is way higher than the skill in animation.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Let's find out what Piero wants to work on. But what did you work on in this game?
I was in charge of the environment part.
Okay, cool. Built a lot of bricks. A lot of bricks. A huge castle. Was that an intimidating thing for you to sort of get gifted? Please build our castle. Or were you cool with that?
It was really hard since the beginning. I wanted to do the castle. This is a real life castle actually. It's in Germany.
Oh wow.
Okay. And I really love this place. And of course I did it and then we customized it so it fits the game and the level design and everything.
Yeah.
And my family is full of architects, so I have like an architectural background and I love creating spaces and interesting buildings, so that's why I wanted to do something like that.
Did you almost get into architecture? Was that a possible life for you? Yeah.
My entire life I wanted to be an architect. At the end, it's super funny because at the end I decided to study philosophy. So I studied philosophy for 2 years, but then I came here and I realized that this is my passion and I want to be.
You've just been pissing off your family left, right, and center. That's awesome. What is it about video games that is so attractive to you, and why do you want to make games?
I think video games can communicate a lot of positive things to the players, and as a creator,
we can influence the whole society in a positive way. So I think it's important to contribute to this whole change that is happening right now.
It's such a massive industry, right? Yeah, it reaches so many different people. Yeah, one day your family will play video games too. And you want to be building levels and creating worlds.
Yeah, I want to work in the industry as an environmental artist.
Fantastic. All right, you guys, get out there and play Ethos and talk with these fine gentlemen. They're all very good guys. Congratulations. All right, have a great night. Robo
Rapture.
All right, our next game is a tactical turn-based strategy experience. There's more to it. You guys will explain. Here it is. Robo Rapture with Maceo. Watch the steps. Gustavo, Ben, and Erika. And Miguel. Good to see you. Watch that step. Yeah. All right. Okay, Maceo, take us into this incredible game.
Hello. So Robo Rapture is a turn-based endless runner strategy game that takes place in the not-so-far future, where the apocalypse has come, taking everything with a soul to heaven or hell. But you play as 3 soulless giant robots, desperately trying to survive in this now demon-infested Earth, with your ultimate goal to slay Neo Satan.
Did you rehearse that? It sounds so polished. I love it. It's awesome. Scott, has there been a sprite-based game in the last little while Scott's still here? Or Glenn? When was the last sprite-based game? I can't even remember.
Likely Lionitis.
I don't think I did that one. I think I might have been away for that one.
It's a fantastic project.
Okay, all right, cool. But choosing to go in the direction of sprites for your graphic kind of statement is a big one, isn't it? It means a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm a designer. Gus and I co-designed this game.
Yeah.
And being able to have a game that has a lot of content in it was very important. So honestly, going with sprites was really a design decision. It was, what is something where we have our pipeline figured out? We know the amount of content we can deliver on. We limit our unknowns. So we can really go in there and really focus on how many units we're going to have and really deliver on that vision.
And I guess when you choose sprites and they're based on a grid, you're also kind of shrinking the amount of extraneous kind of animations and you know.
Yeah, we were very conscious of what we were going to be building for the characters and what we weren't going to be building. So our characters in the game, they don't actually have a walk cycle or back-facing sprites.
Right.
And we decided early on that for the vision of the game that we wanted to deliver on, that these weren't important parts of it. That instead we wanted to have those meaningful interactions between units. And if we spent the time doing walk cycles for each of the characters or having them back-facing and flipping around, we wouldn't be able to deliver on that. We'd have to cut our entire roster in half. So ultimately, that was the decision we made, and I'm proud of that decision.
And you guys also did something kind of cool here. You actually have a paper version of this game.
Yeah, so Gus will drop in and explain some more about that in a second. But yeah, during pre-pro, we made a paper prototype version of the game. So even before any code had been written, anything had started, we had taken a chess set and little printed out versions of our characters. And we would play a game back and forth, with one of us playing as the demons with the behaviors that we had described, and one of us playing as the player. And that was really awesome for really quick iterating. We're actually going to have our paper prototype upstairs tonight. You should definitely come and kind of discuss that process with us.
That's cool. Was there ever any decision to provide a multiplayer version of this game?
Yeah. So this is the thing that we talked about before. We actually had a multiplayer online class. So we did actually design, here's how we would build a multiplayer, both co-op and competitive. But something really fantastic about our demons is they're dumb. They do stupid things and they kill each other, and that feels fun. And when we have another player play as the demons and play really intelligently, you run into a problem where they're just a little too overpowered. Or some of the units can only move 2 tiles, and it doesn't feel fair or fun when you're like, oh, here's my guy. He's moved, that's my turn. So yeah, we really wanted to focus on the single player experience. Something we repeatedly kind of came back to was that we didn't want to go into this project trying to make a game for everyone, but we really wanted to make a game for someone. That's something I feel we really delivered on.
Great. Do you want to stay making games as a game designer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, cool. Let's talk with Gustavo, the other co-designer on the game. Hello. How do you feel about being able to show off your life's work over the last few months?
Yeah, so 4 months of work. We spent 1 month
production. So we were designing together the paper prototype. We just got the chessboard. We sat down and we said, we got pen and paper, and we just figured out what do we need for this to work. So we pretty much designed all mechanics and put them on the game design document.
You know, I've interviewed legends like Bruce Shelley and Sid Meier, and that's how they make their games. I've heard this before, and it's awesome to see that kind of approach is still kind of being looked at. I think because I think it's really important that you can play a video game away from the video game. That's what the best games do, don't they? Like you still are playing them in your mind after you shut them off.
So Sid Meier made something that all of the strategy games industry love, which is the idea of one more turn.
Yeah.
So you play always to get that feeling, oh, just one more turn.
Yeah.
And it's something that inspired us a lot, for sure.
That's cool. Are you going to be fighting with Miss
We never really fight it.
But now you're under the
respectfully and like sometimes heated discussion, but like we one thing that we did while we were making the game, we would split the responsibilities of each person, so we would know exactly what each person would do, and that worked out really well.
That's great. That's awesome. And so you'll be designing. Hopefully.
Yes, I'm a game designer, but in the project I also did all the 3D art. I made particle effects as well, and some of the shaders that are in the game. And my goal in the industry is to work mostly, as a designer. Level design, narrative design, you name it, I can do it.
Right on. Okay, Ben, let's find out what you worked on.
All right. Oh, there we go. So for this team, I was in charge of UI UX design, project management, and being the moral compass of the team, as they like to put it.
Describe that and explain that a little bit for us. Why did you have to be a moral compass?
Okay, maybe not have to, but just I was just generally morally supporting the entire team with me being a little less hands-on with the actual in-engine stuff.
Yeah.
That there'd be days where something would go wrong or like something wouldn't be working as it needs to be. And I was just there to help support and just sort of help out in that process. But alongside that, I was also again designing the UI UX, which with a genre like this, there's a lot to do.
Incredibly important. You're trying to train everybody.
Exactly.
And not everybody has a real familiarity with this genre.
That was probably the biggest challenge with designing UI UX is not spoofing the player, but also not leaving them in the dark. You want to get that perfect balance, and I think we got near perfect on that, if not perfect.
That's great. What was it like to kind of guide a team that had something that was so efficiently already designed?
It actually worked out really well in our favor because not only did the paper prototype help guide us right off the bat, but this is a really strong, hardworking team that's really good at communicating with one another.
Yeah.
So figuring out what needs to be done when and getting everyone to do what they need to do was a piece of cake. There was never any need to constantly nag, like, is this done, is this done, is this done? They were consistently on top of everything.
That's great. So you got a taste of a bunch of different things here at VFS. Do you have a predilection? Do you have a hope for your career? Where do you want to?
Based on my experience in VFS, I'd like to go in design, UI design, level design, gameplay design, any of those. I'm not picky.
Okay, so 3 designers, and it's going to be like a gladiator fight at the end of tonight. That's right.
Well, fortunately, you've got programmers coming up now.
All right. Okay, Angelica, you had a lot of kind of direction, I guess, for what this game was supposed to be, and you got to make it live as a program. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing for me because the designers made an amazing job updating always the TDD, the new features and the behavior that they were really expecting for the different units. So it was easy for me to implement it.
That's great. And you had experience as a programmer prior to this?
Yeah, I was a web developer and an Android developer before.
That's cool. What's the difference between programming for the web and programming Robo Rapture?
It's really, really different.
Yeah.
It's different because when you develop applications, the focus that you have is very particular on the business model that you are tackling.
Yes.
On this one is you are expecting people to have fun playing the game.
Right.
So it's different.
That's cool. Is it, as a programmer, is it fun for you to see people playing the game and getting that fun?
Yes, absolutely. And I think the most difficult part that Ben made an amazing job is that for us, we know the rules of this game and how it works.
Yeah.
So when we saw other people playing this game, we knew what would happen, but that people maybe didn't get the clues to understand what was the funny part on it.
Right,
So
right.
then help us to make it clear for players and hopefully it's funny for players when they play the game.
Awesome. Well, it's clear you're going to continue to be a programmer.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific direction in programming that you'd like to do? Is it general, or do you want to program a specific aspect of games?
I had fun on AI, but I open to different roles on the programming side.
Right on. Okay, let's talk with Miguel here. What did you work on?
I did I'm a technical artist and also I was a gameplay programmer. Aside with Angelica.
Okay, cool. So lots of grand dreams and grand visions for what this game was going to be like as a video game. You had to kind of oversee and make sure that it actually was a video game. It played like a video game.
But actually no, because as a team we've successfully scoped and overviewed our entire project like from the get-go. Our designers successfully designed it like at production. Me and Angelica made awesome prototypes to see how good it would play out, how the design would play out on the game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that I had to overlook anything because they overlooked their own decisions. I was only helping them out as they needed to be as a technical artist, right?
I guess, I mean, this is a great case study. This is a game based on logic, logic and thinking clearly, because the scope is very structured. But this is a case for designing like crazy and how that can really be efficient when you have no time.
Definitely.
Right?
There was a time where we had 7 iterations of our UML diagrams.
Yeah.
And we didn't even expect that to blow up that big, but for the longest time, we started off with 1 iteration all the way to 7. And from as far as I know, most student projects stop after the second iteration of the UML diagrams just because it's a diagram, right? But it really helped out with charting everything from, okay, what do we need to work first? What do we need to happen on the first milestone? What do we need done by the 3rd milestone? By data, what do we have and what do we need to cut? And by planning that, we only managed to cut out 1 unit. And I think that's a big win for our entire group, that we were able to work together, talk together, and like figure out what we need and what we don't need, and what can make it better.
That's amazing. Yeah, this is a huge case for collaboration and communication right here. You have another thing that you also, paper version of the game, PC version of the game, and
we have our mobile versions.
And next week, it will work on my Apple Watch.
It will.
Give it 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. That's crazy. So this is how much of the PC game experience can you find on your mobile?
It is 100% of the PC game minus a little bit of the UI.
Wow.
However, tonight we're here to showcase its functionality and how proud we were to be able to port our games to the mobile, and generally how proud we are for.
That's great. You guys all should be very proud. You're going to continue to be a programmer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Congratulations. Talk to these people, play their game. I would love to see this game finished and realized and shipped out tomorrow. I want it on my Switch, guys. Can we get that happen?
That's actually one of our
Yes?
next milestones.
Okay, right on. Okay. Thank you, guys. And zero friction. 1 second.
So, 100% of sound? Really?
Zero friction is up next. Hello, Ajay. How are you? And we've got Stanford. Good to see you, Eduardo. And we have Daniel. Teddy. Sorry, guys. My brain is fried. Okay, Ajay. Take us into zero friction.
Ajay, closer. No, go towards Victor.
Yeah.
You're only 4 people.
There you go.
Yay! Better.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good. What's your game about?
Our game, Zero Friction, is a third-person 3D racing game set in the far future, where you pilot sentient AI hoverbikes that can jump and attack each other with power.
Awesome. You're like speaking my language here. I like all of that. You guys used Mario Kart and F-Zero?
Yeah, Mario Kart, F-Zero, those are big influences. Wipeout, another big one. Yeah.
So lots of weapons and lots of combat.
Yeah, we've got 3 power-ups, and just the racing and jumping.
Right.
Are a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Shortcuts. Yeah.
How did you guys determine this was the path for your team?
I don't know. From the beginning, I think we all wanted to make just a fun multiplayer experience, one that we could have fun testing as we went. So I think that's how we got to a racing game.
How did you enjoy the process of being the project manager and working with this team to kind of hit the goals?
It was fun. It was. I think just it felt more like a creative collaboration. We were really kind of constantly in kind of iterating on our design, and that felt like a very organic process to me. If someone had an idea, like we just were very open to discussing it, so it felt very collaborative, very kind of respectful and fruitful in a way that I haven't encountered in a lot of like group collaborations.
That's great. That's awesome. There's always this sense of having to chop stuff out as your time is shrinking and your milestone goals have to kind of get met. How did your team deal with that? And how did you manage to make sure that nobody freaked out?
It was kind of an evolving process. I think we just kind of kept each other from freaking out. That's just our personalities on the team. Maybe not mine, but everybody else on the team is really good at like. Because I thought too, like I think someone else, Mario said before, like he thought he was going to be the one kind of being the pillar of the team.
Yeah.
And going in as PM, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to be a pillar. I've never been a pillar before. I don't know how this is going to go.
Stand still.
Right, and hope for the best. But yeah, no, I think because everyone on the team is so relaxed, that kept me from freaking out when the inevitable kind of cuts came. Like, we actually started off wanting to do more of a road rash thing, where you have players fighting each other with melee weapons on the street. But turns out that road rash, for anyone that doesn't know, I guess in the audience, was a series of games on the Sega Genesis.
Yep. Classics.
Yeah, great games. All single player though, not multiplayer online, which is what we were doing. So we found out through probably we were close to halfway through the production process when we finally had to admit, like, hey, this melee thing isn't going to work. What are we going to do? But luckily, we had been playing with some other elements that we had in our game. Like Teddy put a jump in our game, and so we were playing with that kind of secretly amongst ourselves. And when teachers saw it in the milestone, they were like, "Oh, that's not really anything. Don't worry about it." They're like, "Why is there a jump here?" No reason, but you never want to say that.
Yeah, I guess always have some backup plans, right?
Yeah, so that worked out for us. And then once we started redesigning the game and the level that we had around that, it was really fun. And I think we ended up in a really good place.
Right on. Well, you get to touch a bunch of different things when you're in the school. You get to try all kinds of stuff. Do you want to stay a project manager or producer, or what are you hoping for?
I'm open to a lot of things. I really enjoy design. I really enjoy iterating on a process of like how do you make something fun. So that's probably my overall main goal. But I did a lot of VFX for this project, and that's something I can see myself enjoying. I mean, there's just so many like cool things you can do in the gaming industry. It's like, okay, I could happily take a job doing one thing and then do something else as a hobby and just see how things go.
That's great. You want to leave your options open. Love that. All right, Stanford, what did you work on?
So I'm the environment artist and the UI artist. So what you see inside the environment part of the building, so pretty much just like what you go for H&M, same product, just different color. Make life easier.
Were you influenced by Tron?
No, what do you, I mean,
Is that a dirty word? Are we allowed to say, are we allowed to ixnay on the Tron egg?
I think we was looking for like Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Yeah, and but at the end, like, I asked a lot of feedback from people about the environment. They say, "Are you guys making Tron?" Like, probably.
It's hard to stay away, man.
Yeah,
Tron's a big magnet out there.
and much easier.
And much easier, yes. How did you create the sensation of, or help to create the sensation of speed and scale when you were building your environments?
Oh, so at the beginning I was trying to look for the the real life style is the size. So like if the level is 2 meter low, tall, okay, 2 meter. After we set the game, below is super small. Yeah, it's going up in my head.
So basically, the real world sucks in video games.
Yeah, because basically everything depends on the camera we have inside.
Yeah.
So also the angle, precision, whatever.
Yeah.
That just depends on the game camera. If it looks good, okay. If it's not, we make it
Back to the drawing board.
Mhm.
Was that a big lesson for you at school this year? Was how much you had to, iterate and change things up and re-render and go back in?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially for environment, I would say.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, you've made a game world, and it must feel pretty good to be able to share that tonight. Is this what you want to do?
Yeah, because like World of Warcraft is one of the very excellent example for me. It inspired me a lot when I first played World of Warcraft. The world like excellent. Wonderful.
So you would love to make worlds that blow our minds like that,
Yeah.
super expansive like that.
Yeah, even you think the environment looks ugly, terrible, but at least you got some feedback where it's just like, yeah. You got something for me. Feeling inside.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you, Stanford. All right, let's talk with Eduardo. What did you work on?
No, my role in this project was level design and vehicle assist.
That's great. So you got a little taste of both. You got to put the vehicles on the track and you make the track.
Yes, that's right. I think the biggest challenge was to make the level interesting.
Yeah.
So at first I started basing the designs on MotoGP tracks, actual tracks, and that was boring as hell.
Right. So again, the real world sucks in video games.
Actually, if you're going to make a video games with flying bikes,
Yeah.
pocket bikes, don't take the MotoGP track.
No.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So this is more like a Mario Kart design.
Yep.
So yeah, we have elevation, we have jumps, we have ramps, we have tunnels. So it's more interesting.
That's cool. That's cool. How did you dream up that track and that level design?
It just came up. Working with Stanford, environment, props, and then playtesting.
Did you do any paper kind of?
Yes,
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
2D layouts until
That's great. But you're wearing a motorcycle jacket, so something tells me you dig motorcycles a little bit more than the tracks.
I love motorcycles,
Yeah.
vehicles and cars,
Yeah.
airplanes, all the motorcycles. So yeah, that's what I wanna focus on in the industry.
Yeah. Were these vehicles very different when you started the game, and did they evolve over time?
Actually, I'm not a good drawer, so I had something.
Artist.
Yes. No, on paper, it's kind of difficult for me. So I had something on my mind, and I had to try to place that idea inside Maya.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something that I had in my mind. So that the results really good. So I'm very satisfied.
That's wonderful. So this was what you had as your vision.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
And did you take the inspiration from anything?
Yes, all futuristic bikes, hoverboards, airplanes, spaceships.
Yeah. Put it all together. And so now you want to go off and make vehicles and video games.
Yes.
If you could do that. Very good. So if anybody from Need for Speed is here, talk to this man. Okay. Awesome. Okay, let's talk with you, Teddy. What did you, I didn't hear any about programming.
Yes, so I'm
We found you. You're the programmer. How did you like this process?
So my team is really Linux, and before we never have like any like fighting each other or something like that. Like our project is like really flow, and I really like my team.
That's awesome. It must be a little bit sad, right, at the end of the year, because you guys are going to go off and go do different things.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sort of cleaning that up. That's kind of cool, though, right? You get a chance to kind of bond and recognize how much you need each other to build something, and how important that is.
So I mean, for our project, basically, like, I have the background to make like game development. So I just talked to them. So in the prototype phase, I'm going to make like prototype like a game, something to show them,
Yeah.
and so they can make like something and
put in the project and let's see how it's going.
So you just made a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I just made.
You just gave them toys,
Yeah,
and then you let them design things.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So did you ever feel overwhelmed? Did they give you too many things to kind of manage, or was it cool? Was it all good?
It's all good. I mean, just tell me what they want.
You don't make pizzas, dude. Just tell me what you want on the pizza, and I will make that. That's unbelievable. That's awesome. So how does it feel to have this game be shared with everybody tonight?
Yes, I'm very proud of my team, and yeah, I don't know what to say.
No, that's great. So you're going to obviously continue making games.
Yeah.
Would you like to work with other programmers?
Sure. Yeah. I'm willing to work with any people.
That's great, man. You're going to be working for a long time, I can tell. Thank you, gentlemen. You guys can play Zero Friction, and you can talk to these wonderful guys. T-pose. Is that dangerous in this class? All right. Okay. Tell me the game again. Oh yeah. Vita. What is it? Vita Core. Right. Sorry, guys. Vita Core is up next. Luong, how are you? Good to see you. Eres, Cesar, sorry, I got them wrong. Marco and Hugo. Yes, watch that step, guys. All right, Luong, tell us all about Vita Core.
Okay, Vita Core is 2v2 3D mobile shooter game, and we have 3 different characters, which are archer, tank, and engineer. And each character has 5 different activities, which is light attack, heavy attack, and 3 different unique abilities. And in the meantime, we need to they need to fight each other. And in the meantime, they will deal with 2 different elemental bosses and the minions.
How did you start this game? Because that's a laundry list of features. That's a lot of stuff in a game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So did it start like that? Was that how you guys kind of rolled out and said we want to hit all of these things, or did you keep adding as you kept building?
We have a lot of stuff, and so for a very beginning of the game, we need to go to kill minions and get a level up. Like some mobile, we need to kill minions, get some new abilities, get a level up, and then we kill not player. So we can capture the same idea, do it again. And
keep your mic like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we also do like a Overwatch, so we kind of put like ability-based shooter game, so we can combine it together.
How do you feel the vision and the work that you guys put in turned out? How do you feel tonight? I'm very proud of our awesome game.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very proud of my game. Yeah, because we have a lot of stuff, and then we combine it to each other properly. So I'm very proud of it.
That's awesome. Okay. What were your focuses? Like, what did you work on? I know you're a project manager, but you did a little more than that too.
Yeah, I was project manager and the level designer, and I also take care of the particles, some shaders. Yes.
That's great. Did you propose this as the game idea, or did everybody come together and say, let's do something like that?
Yeah, we all of us like mobile game, so we share our idea together and then we decide to get together.
That's wonderful. Do you want to be a project manager or a producer or something like that when you get out in the real world?
To be honest, I'm open for every position, but I really want to focus on level design and visual effect artist.
Awesome. Well, congrats on this tonight, man. Very cool. All right. Esther. All right. Esther, what did you do?
I was a programmer, AI networking, gameplay, UI, animation, all.
No big deal. That is amazing. Did you know you were going to do so many things when you?
I wanted to actually. We all wanted to push ourselves to make. We talked about it. Let's make a game which has everything in it.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be really good.
That's great. That's awesome. How did it manifest? Like, was it you had to get a piece working and then you threw in another piece and it didn't break, and it was still fun, and then you had to, like, how did you?
Well, at the start, we had to do like some building up.
Yeah.
So afterwards it was fine. So it take us like for M1, we had to get a lot of stuff in just to make it work.
Yeah.
But afterwards it was more about UI, user feedback, and other stuff.
Yeah, I guess, right, when you have so many different details, you've got to kind of guide the player through all of it.
And also art-wise, we did a really good job.
Yeah.
That's great. It's also really good. It plays well.
So you did a big chunk of programming on it. Is that what you want to do in the real world?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Cool. Any kinds of games that you want to program?
Multiplayer.
You want to do multiplayer, so network programming is a big part of your future plan?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, okay. Marco, what'd you work on?
So I was one of the artists. I was environmental artist and also character artist.
Oh, great. Okay, so you built this lava world that we're flying through right now?
Yeah, specifically I made this fire boss. I made this character which is playing right now, and I also made the tank character.
That's great. That's awesome. Had you ever made characters for a video game prior to this?
No. This is the first time I fully go through the whole pipeline of making a character, which is making the rigging and animation and all this stuff. And putting
So it wasn't just designing the characters, you brought them to life?
Yeah.
Kind
of. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you know that was what you had signed up for, and did you enjoy it as much as you hoped you would?
Actually, it's been so cool for me learning, because for me it was more a learning experience than anything else.
Right.
So that's why I like touching every aspect, like environmental and character, because I really want to learn, and I want to get this experience as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Most of everything, above everything. And for me it was awesome. I learned how to do some cool stuff, and I said it before, but if I could redo stuff right now, I could. It would be a ton. Better.
Well, something tells me if you're going to be going into the video game industry, you're going to be redoing a lot of things.
Hopefully,
and you're never going to stop.
Yeah, that's the beauty of 3D, right? You can always Control Z and then miss some stuff again, and that's it. Yeah.
That's great. So you want to continue to make characters?
Yes.
Or anything?
Definitely. Characters, my prime thing, which I like.
Yeah.
I also love environmental pieces, which like reading the whole world. Like for me, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
You can create whatever you want, but characters for me is like my passion. I really love characters.
Right on. Okay. Ugo, let's find out what you worked on.
Actually, I was a UI UX designer and other artist as well. So we decided to split like our artists half to half with Marco. So I made other boss and the rest of the characters and environmental props.
Yeah.
And also I created UI for this game.
What I like about this too is that it showcases different distinct art styles, which I think is really important for MOBAs, right? Because there are all these hero type of characters. And you guys were inspired by that from games like Overwatch and League of Legends and things like that, right?
Smite, of course.
And Smite, right. Okay, cool. Did you have that sort of in the back of your mind as you kind of split up the work and got that tip for everybody? That like these different styles would benefit the game?
Actually, thank you for asking this question.
Yeah.
So we decided to split characters like one boss for each other because they are elemental bosses and they have to look different. And we decided to split characters like I took female character, Marco took the both male characters, and I took minions. So in that way, our different art styles they didn't dismatch.
That's great. Yeah. And you know, so many games are kind of there's this. Homogeny that is a good thing for those games, but it's with a game like this, the different styles actually benefit from it. Yeah, good time. But you also worked on the UI as well, which a game with as much complexity as this is incredibly important. Did you enjoy that process?
Oh yes.
Yeah. And so now you're leaving school and venturing into the real world. You've had this hands-on time with art. What do you want to do?
Actually, I want to go for the generalist artist in future because I like animation, character design, creating environmental props. Also, I like UI UX stuff, but I think like generalist artist is my thing.
Very good. Okay. All right. Well, good luck with all of your goals, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing all of your work very soon out there. And thank you very much for this fantastic game that we all get to play tonight. Congrats, you guys. Okay, cool. The elder. Yes? We wait for these guys, though. So they never find out. Okay, sure. I have no jokes, so I'm more reactive than a jokester. Oh, my trip to Japan was awesome. I met the guy that invented Samurai Showdown. Anybody know Samurai Showdown? Oh, he was the coolest. He was such a nice guy. He gave me a hug at the end of it after, because I was like so excited. Samurai Showdown was, I was telling Steve at lunch, was the first game that a game publisher sent to the Electric Playground in 1995. It was the 3DO version of Samurai Showdown. And Crystal Dynamics, who makes Tomb Raider, now they're making the Avengers game. They used to be a game publisher, and they sent that to EP, and I was like, oh, what a real deal now. So I met the guy that invented it. All right, we are talking about The Elder, and coming up to the stage right now is Daniel. Good to see you, buddy. We've got May here, we've got Marina, and we've got Lisa, and we've got Ellie, and we've got Zion. How are you? Good to see you. Careful, that stuff is a doozy.
We're going to switch Marina and May because there's a bit of a dip. There we go.
Okay, cool. Rocket.
Yay.
Very good. Okay, Daniel, take us into The Elder. What's this game all about?
Hey everyone. The Elder is a third-person adventure game where you play as a young boy named Makosh, who is accompanied by a tree companion on their quest to restart the cycle of the forest. It was actually a very, very cool project to work on, specifically because we all had the idea of having all the major mechanics actually working through the companion character to really instill a sense of companionship. It was a huge challenge, especially since we decided to stay away from combat. And honestly, it was such an amazing ride, a lot of challenges, but I think we killed it.
Talk to me about working with this group here and everybody's contributions. You've got a relatively large team, in contrast to the other teams here at BFS. Everybody's got to kind of get their say and get their goals met with a game like this. You're the project manager. How was this experience?
Right. So on top of being a project manager, I also took on a lot of tasks such as the motion capture, as well as doing.
Are you the tree?
I'm not the tree.
Okay,
just the cleaning aspect. I mean, I look like a tree, tall, right? But
I didn't want to.
Okay, but yeah, so I did the cleaning. I also did a lot of the controller UIs, all the effects, the water shader, and the lighting. Through this, I got to work really closely with a lot of them to make sure that lighting was at a point where it was not only showing where the player was going, but was matching the aesthetic feeling and wasn't causing a wrong feeling for the character, sorry, the player as they're going through it. And also making sure the effects were working properly and fitting to the feedback that we wanted it. And it was very interesting working with them. And I feel like because we kept such a good communication on everything, that it's really turned out really nice.
That's awesome. It sounds like you had just as much fun playing in the engine and building things as sort of shepherding the work and making sure that all the milestones were getting made.
Yeah, and although I do prefer being part of the design, like that's what I would like to do, is be a gameplay designer. But I think with my previous design experience, as well as getting this management experience, is a very beneficial thing to have, especially going into the industry.
Cool. So you're open to a bunch of things.
Primarily game design.
Okay, right on. Okay, very good. Shall we move on, or do we wait for the game to go? Okay. Marina, what was your focus?
I was the environmental artist.
Okay, cool. Are you wearing a Kabam shirt right now?
Yeah, thanks to Gord.
Okay. How did you enjoy creating a cartoony version of what we see when we walk out into the woods out here?
It was actually heavily inspired by Tim Burton and Alice in Wonderland. We really wanted to kind of go for a semi-realistic, semi-stylized environment.
Yep.
It was a fun challenge. I'd done some realistic stuff for other pieces, and I wanted to kind of try and push a little stylized, but it's still fairly realistic.
There's a ton of assets in this
Yeah.
world. Was that maddening or?
It's like, yeah, I think it's just shy of 100, I think, including between materials built and physical assets.
And you guys can't grab off the shelf stuff, right? Like that's
No.
part of the discipline here. Is you build everything.
Yeah, nothing was grabbed. I built all the textures that are in the game, with the exceptions of the characters and the water shader.
Yep.
And then there's another, I think there's roughly 70 assets in the game as well. Thankfully, there's a fair amount of repeat with the trees and stuff, which I built in the materials and I made so that I could not have to build a single material for each tree. Can have some modularity there, which helped a lot.
Yeah.
All of the foliage and stuff is also similar.
Was this a game though that started with a more linear kind of scope and then it expanded out? And when they did that, did they approach you very slowly? Okay, we've got this idea.
Yeah.
We might be able to go anywhere. Are you okay? Is there anything like that?
Yeah, actually, it was a really amazing experience getting to work with Lisa. She was our level designer, which we'll talk more about that. But it was a lot of just collaboration. Like she'd be like, "Hey, I have this really cool idea. What do you think of this?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, how much art has to change?" And she'd be like, "Okay, we're just gonna add like one new set piece." And then I'm like, "Okay, so we're gonna wait till the end of the project. When we finalize that that's what the set piece is gonna look like, and then I'll build it, so we don't end up building multiple things." It actually worked out really well because we ended up with enough time at the end to add a little bit of exploration to this game, which we weren't really sure if we were going to be able to.
It's the heart of the game.
It's the heart of the game.
It is
It's
the
so
game.
fun,
Yeah.
I think, getting that opportunity, and like it also gives us more opportunity to play with the art and like set dress it in interesting ways. So, yeah.
That's cool. You want to keep making worlds?
Yeah, for sure. I'm an environment artist.
I mean, in games.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Really true.
All right, cool. Awesome. May, what did you work on?
Hello.
Hello.
I did the character art and some of the concepts for the characters.
How much did you fight to turn the main character into a raccoon? Did you want it to be a raccoon for many? Okay.
Actually, I wanted a dragon.
You wanted a
That was
dragon?
something that had to be put in the set.
Yeah, that's cool. So you have two characters and a boss. Did you design the boss too?
Yes, I designed the boss. Funny thing is actually I designed him like much taller because that was the original idea.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, let's put him down to the floor. So it was like, okay, great.
That made life a little bit easier. Yeah. Did you design them, sculpt them,
So first,
animate them?
I started with I iterated both Makoshi and Chi about 3 to 4 times each.
Yep.
Until like my team was like, oh my god, this is amazing, and I was like, okay, I'm happy with them. And then that's when I started doing the block out and the ZBrush and all of that stuff. It was a really fun process.
That's great. Marina mentioned Tim Burton for the level design. Was that something that you tapped into too?
Yeah, so we kind of had to, it's obviously, she's doing environmental and I'm doing characters,
Mhm.
and we had to come up with a way to kind of like make sure it was consistent,
Sure.
like both the characters with the environment. And it wasn't that hard, to be honest. We both kind of just settled on like Tim Burton-y, stylized.
Yep. I see a familiar way to influence in there as well.
Yeah. And yeah, it was pretty good working with her and being able to like she gave me a lot of input. The whole team did on like our characters and like what to do and how to improve them, and it was a great experience overall.
Awesome. What's it like to make characters? Is this something that you now love and want to continue doing?
Oh yeah, I would love to work on that in the industry. You know, working on the 3D characters and stuff.
That's great. And like sculpting them or a little bit of everything, animating or?
I don't plan to touch animation.
Okay.
We
We got some honesty here tonight. I love it. I love it. That's great. Okay. Let's talk with Lisa here. What did you work on, Lisa?
So I was the level designer on the project.
That's cool. The level is the narrative kind of in this game, right? You had to, you had to kind of, make us guide us through this world that you're creating. Did you enjoy this process?
It was, yeah, it was really nice. We had a set of mechanics that I had to work with, and then learning how to teach the player that in a short amount of time and allowing them to feel like they mastered it when they got to the boss fight was definitely a challenge. And I worked really closely with Zion, who programmed the boss, and we made sure that it felt right, and then all the beats were there, and then I worked closely with Marina when it came to doing environments because I didn't want to add more areas. And then it came down to like, does she have time to actually do it? And what can I do with this props that we already have? And then again, working closely with Ali, ensuring that she wasn't in the way or he wasn't freaking out in the corner.
That's cool. I would imagine that there's a lot of game breaking that goes on when you give this to someone to play, right? And then like people going into parts of the world where you can't go there. But is that like nail biting for you to watch? Or?
It was actually kind of cool seeing like how far the player would go and seeing the player want to explore. It made me want to open up areas for the player to actually go explore. And I did a lot of playtesting, fresh eyes, and with people that have played the game, so they know the mechanics. And just seeing where they can just go, run off, and break things was nice because I would just add another rock there so they could.
Are we going to see like 15 rocks that look very suspiciously similar? That's great. Do you want to continue to be a level designer?
Yeah, definitely level design, and I'm open to mission design, class design too. That seems interesting.
Very cool. All right, Ali, what was your focus?
Hello. So I was one half of the programming team. I focused on half of the gameplay. So 2 of the mechanics, the catapult throw, where she can pick you up and launch you, and then the crystal shooting, where the coach will take control and sort of have Chi point out and shoot crystals into the wall. And program Chi, actually, that was my main challenge for this game.
That's cool. The ever-present Chi.
Yes.
The Chi where you'll turn the camera. What are you looking at?
That was one of the main challenges, was that early in the iteration, we wanted him to be very present, so you could see him at all times, but having him spawn in the camera view sort of, I guess, took away from this sort of mystical character of him, so now he spawns always outside of the camera view.
That's very cool. Was there ever combat? Was there ever an action piece that you guys were working
for
on?
like 2 seconds in pre-production, we thought, combat, and then we thought, no. So it was fleeting, very much so.
So that put a huge emphasis on making the world be enough and be fun.
Yeah, so it was really polishing the mechanics that I was in charge of, making sure that the tree companion felt helpful rather than hindering, and really just sort of polishing the experience overall for the player.
That's cool. Talk to me about working with Zion and how you guys balanced.
An amazing experience. Zion is an excellent programmer. It was almost seamless just working with him, sort of sharing the workload, splitting the workload, and then working with Lisa was amazing. She was always positive every morning with bugs to give me. That was just it made my life. No, it makes your life easier. You always have to communicate with your team, which I think we pulled off really well.
Was that something that you were a bit anxious about? Because you've got to work with people you don't really know that well.
Yeah.
And you have to deliver something.
Yeah, that was sort of a big hurdle, but we got past that, I think, in pre-production. And then our second hurdle was sort of tackling Unreal. Zion and I had no previous sort of Unreal C++ experience, so
you did it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Like we're very proud of the work that we put into this.
That's great. Are you going to be a programmer when you grow up?
Yeah, when I grow up, one day I'm hoping to get there. So that's the goal. That's the dream.
That's awesome. All right, Zion, let's find out what your focus was.
Yeah, so as already mentioned, I worked on the boss and the climbing system.
The climbing system? Yeah. That's a huge element in this game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to like go, okay, we were climbing, now figure out how to make it work. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to figure out how to design it and implement it and just the entire pipeline.
Was there always this thing where Chi was shooting the rungs of the ladder?
Yeah, we always kind of wanted that companionship between the player and Chi.
Yep.
And we thought, oh, well, it would be cool if the companion actually shot your climbable devices. And yeah, it worked really well.
That's great. And when you guys were building a game, obviously it takes time to build all the textures and all the detail and stuff. Did you make it work where it was just like boxes and shapes?
Oh boy.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. There was a gray world with yellow boxes everywhere. And all the yellow boxes were climbing and everything else was nothing.
And it was still fun.
Oh, it was, yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And so I'm curious how you kind of know you're doing half of the program. Like, how do you know like how do you differentiate and know that you're sharing that workload?
So, yeah.
Where are the boundaries? Like, I don't program, so it's hard for me to reconcile that.
In pre-production, we basically like, okay, these are all the things we want in our game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, Ali's gonna do this. And then as we started production, we just worked on those things. And, you know, if someone felt bogged down, someone else would pick up the slack.
Yep.
And it was just an amazing just balance of equal workloads.
Awesome. And I imagine you guys shared a lot of information that either one of you had. And were there times where you both didn't know how to do something? And how did you tackle that?
Yeah, sometimes we work together on the problem. Sometimes we steal ideas from other teams on the floor. Because we have a lot of talented programmers on the floor.
Yeah. And so you share.
Yeah, we share.
What the business does.
Exactly. It's all about collaboration.
That's right. So you're going to stay in the programming field?
Yeah, I'd like to specifically get into the technical design field to get that balance of both design and programming.
That sounds perfect. All right, you guys. This is the Elder team. The team that made the Elder. I'm the Elder. And you're the eldest. Now that we've got that worked out. You can play the game and you can meet this team. Thank you so much. And congratulations, you guys.
Oh, I have a good one.
Oh, I know. I didn't even have my face.
Now, before people take off, last round of feedback. So we're gonna get you guys new builds and everything. So technically it's running, we're about a minute, we've got an hour 20, which for 7 teams is okay, it's about 10 minutes each. So really don't change a lot of what you're saying. The only thing maybe for Robo Rapture, it felt really heavily now weighted towards the paper prototype. So maybe have one of you feature it and then the others say, yeah, it was really good, instead of both big designers talking about it, because it felt weighted heavily to one side.
It's an important part of the story.
Yeah, say it.
So without me asking about it, just get into it. You started with the paper thing. So then it's established and I don't have to like create another story around it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to dig in there.
Yeah, now, we know we ran late, so do you have any feedback? Because you should go as soon as, like, do you have anything to share, or?
I thought you guys were fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was really strong.
I noticed a couple people were into holding the mic here and then looking back here and talking. So that's the same thing when your mouth is drifting away. Everyone can see what's on the screen, so just focus on the people that you want to have you hire you. So you don't really want to ever pivot. Always kind of look out to the crowd here. Everything else is flowing well. We're going to figure out the bugs about that. Scott, do you have any last minute stuff you want to?
It was good. Bring it tomorrow night. Do the same thing.
Rest. Try and look the same.
We have class.
You have class?
We have class in an hour
What
and a
time?
half.
At 6. Till 9. What?
Yeah.
What is it?
Great planning, I know.
Portfolio.
It's just a go.
If I could move that
Oh,
obstacle,
you
if
would.
I could move that obstacle.
You
Old makeup.
So I'm going to be here at 4 o'clock, an hour and a half before the doors open, and I'm just going to be helping out stuff now.
It's good. Yeah. Trying to get need a driver.
Send a request in the.
I make it sound like we're.
You sent one in like 2 people a week.
I'm not going. I'll find out. I'll find out if I can push your class.
I doubt Matt will let us do that.
Just a thought.
How much shit we have to do this last week? A lot.
They didn't say anything. Everything.
Everything is due next week in this class.
Holy shit, there's so many people.
Shut up. It's actually JP.
You had a lot of names.
Just make sure that. When we're coming to East Side, break your game.
No, Stan. Yes. I'll be like, shout out Stanford for breaking up our shit.
This is
I was going to. I was gonna be like, shout.
I was like, Kielbasa.
You can have a debate spokesperson. 每次都谈话。
Hey, you guys, can I have your attention?
Yeah.
Has anyone talked to you about what to wear?
Yeah.
Okay, great. See, so you got that down. Perfume, cologne, that sort of thing. Keep that to 0. You're not gonna be able to drink or eat any of the food that's there, so make sure that you're fed and you've eaten food. You want to make sure that you come here around 5 o'clock, about an hour at least before.
Yeah.
So get into your station, get comfortable in the area. And, you'll be good
Headphones
to
and
go.
controllers.
What's that?
You need headphones. Everyone's got to bring their own headphones in. So if someone wants to play and listen to your game, your own set of BFF's headphones get plugged in and people can wear them. If it's too noisy, they'll want to kind of get into your game. If they want to have conversations with you, they'll take 1 ear off. So I've got some spares, but please bring your headphones for tomorrow. Yeah, you were like, hey, my game's over there, and the microphone was gone. Everyone's doing good. Oh my God.
Oh,
You played it?
So please.
Can you play it with this today? There's some stuff like you want to highlight. Damn.